All right. Let's play your part podcast, episode 15. This is our transparency, awareness, and accountability section of the podcast. This is your host, B.
Tanya.
We can't hear you. Okay, we'll get there one day. We're gonna do Kevin's Icebreakers with no Kevin, but it's all good. Just to get your first icebreaker out the way, and this is coming from the
There you go. Where's the first icebreaker be?
Okay, the first icebreaker is jealousy threesome sparks 60-person scuffle on a carnival cruise right off of the coast of New York City. So there was on this past Tuesday, it was a passenger on board of a Carnival cruise ship off the coast of New York City. The heated argument sparked off from a man allegedly cheating on his girlfriend because he had a threesome on the actual cruise ship. So it pretty much got so bad that they had to call the Coast Guard to come and regulate it. There was beer thrown everywhere, bottles thrown. People got into fisticuffs about it. You know how it starts. Somebody threw something. Somebody hit me. I'm fighting this person. You know how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
But how did a threesome turn into 60 people?
I know.
It's a scuffle. So one person, it was the girlfriend, and then talking to the boyfriend, and then you get all mad because you over here trying to find the two other females that you had a threesome with, and
So
you
that's
over here catching it up. That's four. So this start throwing it at this female. So this other female got on her, and then everybody start getting the brawling. You know what I mean? Dudes getting away. Hey man, get your hand off a girl. Hey, go her. Everybody got the fighting. It got so bad they had to call the Coast Guard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thoughts on it?
I don't know. Well, first of all, y'all were on a cruise together. So how did he have time to have a threesome with other people?
Well, guys, if you've never been on a cruise ship, there's a lot of activities going on there.
Well, I get that, but it's like, where were you when he was doing these activities?
I don't know, but obviously he had enough time to schedule, line up, and have a threesome with two other females. I don't know. Maybe she got caught up in shuffleboard, poker. I don't know, but he was playing poker too. So I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like if I'm on a cruise with like my significant other, we're gonna be doing everything together. Like it's not gonna be like, oh yeah, babe, you go to the room while I go play bingo. Like we're on a cruise together. Like
we could say this.
Bingo together.
We could say this right here. Well, we all know a certain person that took somebody on a cruise ship and they didn't appreciate it. But hey, so maybe she was that person, and he was like, you know what? I done paid all this money to get on here. I'm gonna have a good time. And
I can see that. I can see that if you're like and you just like not enjoying yourself, like you're not gonna ruin my trip for me. Like I can get that. Like you're not gonna ruin my experience because you want to be.
No, it was him, his girl, and he met these other two girls.
And then they had a threesome.
Exactly. Well, you got to understand, this all it wasn't in one day. This is a cruise. Cruise is usually 5 to 7 days. So
I don't know. I just don't see how. I don't know. Like you take me on a cruise, I don't see where I would be appreciative of that. Number one, this is just my personal experience, my personal feelings, my personal opinion. And then I don't see where we will be split up on a cruise if we are on a cruise together. But like you said, she may have been like a bitter Betty, and she didn't want to be. I just don't see why you would go to a cruise. Like, you knew you was going on a cruise before you got here. So if you was gonna be like in a foul mood about the whole cruise, like, why did you even come?
Well, we could ask a lot of questions on that one too, because some people, they might be, that's their demeanor, and they think that they deserve that, or they think that they're entitled to it, and they still want to appreciate stuff you can do for some people, and they ain't gonna appreciate it no how what you do for them. And then you just have a epiphany about sitting here being like, I done spent about $1,500 to $2,000 on this whole cruise, and this heifer go sit here and not appreciate it still. Veronica and Melissa, you and you, I didn't cut both of y'all. I'm gonna have fun. This is gonna be memorable. Everybody gonna always remember this. Remember that time you was on that cruise ship?
Well, they definitely made it memorable. Like, definitely caused the scene. And then another thing, I feel like, I don't know, that's something I would have took back to the room. Like, if I had an issue, like, why would you be fighting the females about your man having a threesome with, like, they don't know you, or if they did know you, it's like, girl, we just met on this cruise, or like whatever the case is. At the end of the day, like, that's an issue between you and your dude, not me. I have nothing to do with what your dude did to you. Like, y'all in a committed relationship, not me.
Yeah, so this is where I tell people they needed.
Just too much going on. Like, just
I don't know. That's crazy. I'm talking about a foursome turned into 60 people.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah. Wow. Best believe I go on a cruise ship. You should know all these things before you take somebody anywhere. I don't even think we be boyfriend and girlfriend if I know you didn't appreciate nothing. Period.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I ain't taking you no how. And if I know you ain't gonna appreciate it, we would already been broken up already. I'd have been like, I am not dealing with this. Y'all have
to call the Coast Guard. Like, that's just like, that's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing and pretty sad. Yeah.
Like, that's just embarrassing.
And if you had to call them, somebody got.
Yeah, like, that's embarrassing. Like, all this, like, that's embarrassing as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I wouldn't have told nobody. Yeah. Or like, I would have just. I don't know. I just don't see me not having a good time on a cruise. Like, I just don't see why I would go on a cruise and not have, like, even if I'm with somebody that doesn't want to have a good time, like you said, I'm finna go enjoy myself. Like, you sit over here and be sad. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not having a good time. Like, it was just like you went on a cruise ship with like friends or something. Like, I just can't see the whole cruise.
I don't see myself going anywhere on a vacation or any type of outing where I actually want to have fun and then not enjoy myself. Like, I'm not. I'm not.
I know. I know. Like, I don't know. I know a person who was supposed to go on a trip with somebody, and they went all the way to a certain place, and then they come to find out that your boyfriend got engaged to another girl, and you had to find out on Facebook. But
bruh,
you still wouldn't have ruined my trip. Like, I still would have enjoyed myself. It still would have been that. We probably would have smashed for the last time. And then, when I went home, it's over with. Like, I still enjoyed myself, though. I'm still going to enjoy my trip. Like,
bro,
you're not finna ruin my trip. It's a vacation. Like, you're not finna ruin my vacation, period. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
No. That's weird. I'm going to go to the next topic. This one is a Colorado man was accused of robbing a bank while wearing an ankle monitor.
You just stupid.
Yeah, because he already it says his name was Darren Colony. Allegedly spent his time on June the 15th robbing a bank with a little tag along, which is his ankle monitor. The court reported that the police say that Darren was arrested on the 5th. He was arrested on the 16th, the next day. So his criminal records already he's already a former criminal. He already got 2 convictions in Colorado already. First one is first-degree murder for shooting at a Good Samaritan during a liquor store robbery. and he played guilty in that one. And he was sentenced in January 2018. So it's not like, you know, and they connected you, of
At
course,
this
because
point, I feel like they should like take his mental health into account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at this point, I feel like y'all should probably. Yeah, like clearly he must. He got some mental health issues.
Yeah, you got to be looking to be doing all that, man.
Because there's no way that you're gonna, in your right mind, go rob a bank with an ankle monitor.
No,
I don't know. If I was his defense, that's what I would do if I was on his defense team. Because it's like nobody in their right mind is going to rob a bank with an ankle monitor.
No, not what I'm taking it off first. See if you take it off. Like you left it on. Like,
yeah. At this point, they need to put him in mental health court or something. Like they really need to do a mental evaluation. That's how I feel. Like I feel sorry for him.
I really
do. He obviously just does the things at the wrong times and has poor timing, and I think it's something has something to do with his mental period. Because you can't say I wasn't there. Y'all framing me, bro. You got an ankle monitor on me. Like, come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, they definitely need to have a mental health evaluation on him.
He should have just told them I have a demon. I'm possessed by a demon, and I didn't know what happened. I don't know. Play on that.
Severe. Like he just wants stuff and he doesn't realize the.
Yeah, like impulsiveness. I guess I could see that. Like you might be in a romantic stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it might be.
I'm just saying, like, needs a mental evaluation because nobody in their right mind is gonna just wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go rob a bank," and I know I got an ankle monitor on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this other one. It's the comments on Boosie always has the most craziest comments on certain things. So this one, Boosie Badass is talking about R. Kelly's 30-year sentence was too long. He said he didn't even kill anybody. So he's saying that you're giving people getting less time for murder, but then R. Kelly he didn't even he said people are getting 15 to 20 years for murder, and he get 30. He was wrong for manipulating girls and sexing them, but didn't kill anybody. Aggravated rape anyone? That's what Boosie tweeted. He said, "Nigga, no blame." No, I said, "Nigga, no blame their parents. They knew everything about it." Resentence this man.
I agree with him to a certain extent. Like I feel like R. Kelly was wrong for what he did. Like you were like 15 years older than these girls, regardless of like how promiscuous they was or whatever. You were a very grown man, and these were teenage girls. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how promiscuous they were. Like you're just a foul person for even trying to mess with a little girl in the first place. But as far as like the conviction, I feel like it was just gonna come because you had been getting away with it so long. Yeah. I really feel like they really just gave him the max because of how long he got away with it. I don't really feel like that was a conviction based off of his crime. That was just like you've been getting away with this for so long to the point where you just felt like you was like invincible.
I really want to say that. What?
It's multiple.
What, Ayanna?
I said it's multiple.
Yes, it's multiple counts. Yeah, it's multiple counts, but at the same time, I don't know who his defense attorney was. You suck, bro. I'm not saying I'm gonna get R. Kelly off. I'm gonna get that man 50. This man gonna get 10 years. He wouldn't got no 30. Because the reason why I said that is as me being his defense attorney, I would say each and one of those parents who had acknowledgments took money, bribes, or knew anything about it. They need to be sentenced. Absolutely. Even your bouncer dude. You need to go to. Everybody was on. You snitched on yourself on the R. Kelly video. You literally, how they getting these rappers for snitching themselves on the music? They need to get all them on there. Oh, I just want to try to make sure I signed a deal to say I won't get prosecuted on here. Yeah, but sorry, bro, I got you in a cross-examine on you knew about this, but you didn't report it. Guilty. You need 2 years. The parents, you need 5 apiece.
I agree with that too. I agree that.
I think it should be shared. All that. Cousin that set your other cousin up. You need to get 10. Come on now, each one of y'all need to get some time with that. Not just not just R. Kelly. All of them. All of them did it. Should get something.
I feel like they all should have went. Because it's just like I don't see myself as a parent.
You're being an accessory. You're being an accessory to rape. I would have got them on the.
When they say like they didn't know where their daughters was, how? There's no way in this goddamn world my daughter gonna be gone for a whole night or a whole weekend.
Yeah.
And she's like 15, 16 years old, still living under my roof, and I'm not even questioning where the hell she at.
I would have got all of them on the accessory. I would have got all of them accessory to rape. Accessory to rape and prostitution, because all y'all got paid from it. So I would have got them on that. His defense attorney sucked, bro. I would have been trying to prosecute them too. I would have told the prosecutor, you need to make sure you get this shared sentence because he ain't gonna do the whole 30. I say I would have gave him about 15 and call it good.
So I agree with this. I can't sit here and say that he shouldn't have gotten punished.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a victim of a sexual crime. I can't sit here and say that's wrong. Like he should have gotten the book thrown at him. Should like Tony said, I can't sit here and be like they should not be at fault. It's just a whole not in a doctor that is maybe uncomfortable as a parent, and as a parent that has daughters. I'm uncomfortable. Certain families. So, like, you mean it's
true.
Okay with leaving that all you know is what you see on TV.
And they're gonna spend the night. And they're gonna spend the night. And they're gonna spend the night.
Like to me, that's what I'm just baffled about.
That's the old school way when my mama said, I don't know nothing about them people. Like, I don't know nothing about that. Like, a grown ass man.
At a time, weekends at a time, days at a time, and you're sitting here telling me that you went to go get your child and you like, ain't no goddamn way I'm finna go pick up my child from anywhere and you gonna tell me my child ain't coming out.
His artist Sparkle, this whole thing coming to light because her niece is the one that he yearned. And she was like 12 or 13. I have 4 nieces. I got 3 with my sister, 1 with my brother. And want to leave them with a grown ass man, or just leave them with. They're like my children. So for you as that girl's friend,
but you gotta look at but that girl Sparkle was doing that off of getting mad because no, she did it. Sparkle did that because you got mad because he wouldn't fuck with you. And that's all that was. And you still knew about all that stuff going on. You would have never, if he would have kept on messing with you or fooling with you or musically or whatever.
Like you should have been prosecuted too. Who the fuck
is
a fucking child with a grown man?
Somebody, they don't care. They worried about that. Sparkle worried about her career. That's all she was worried about until you didn't have a career.
As a woman, as a woman.
Until that man until he stopped paying these people. Like I'm pretty sure he been paying these people for a year.
And that's what I said. I feel like he's had these people on his retainer for years. Mm-hmm. And now that he's not paying y'all no more, now all this stuff want to come out.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I always said that he was kind of creepy ever since the MTV Cribs he had. And I looked at his house and I was like, that looks like a dungeon lair. It was too weird. Anyway, but yeah. Guilty too. She guilty too. Yeah, right.
How you don't know what your
husband
doing?
She knew what Robert was doing. Any person got a bed in the studio, that's a red flag.
He on himself through his music. Like nobody really listened to his lyrics. I took it serious. Like, come on, dude. Listen to his song. You know, they said that he was kind of like is it like Peter Piper or something? I think that's what they was like referring.
He's a
It's
Pied
like
Piper. Pied Piper of R&B. That means
because it's kind of like, how can you sit up here and like literally say the stuff in your songs, and then you're doing things
you have to go. You have to go. You have to go back to what the Pied Piper is in nursery rhymes. He's there to mesmerize you with the music, but he's telling you what he's doing in the same time. So no, he's mesmerizing you. You know, he's mesmerizing you to listen to the music. Think he's talking about a grown person, but really he's talking about these little kids he's messing with. So that's what he says is Pied Piper, because he's mesmerizing y'all. Y'all think he's talking about another grown woman.
He literally let you know that he was into kids when he said, "You may be young, but you're ready. Age ain't nothing but a number." Come on, dude. Like, Aaliyah, stop. Like,
so many clues.
I feel like when he
I like to say that Aaliyah album when he was in the background.
Yes, I feel like
when he's going like this.
Came out, everybody should have known then. R. Kelly
Age ain't nothing but a number.
And he was in the background going like this.
Everybody should have known that then.
With a bald head like mine.
You married her when she was like a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew it too.
Well, what they say, like a lot of people that work with him say that he's pretty much still a teenager in it, or like a kid in his mind. I said, because he got famous so early, like he never grew up. He don't know how to read and all that other stuff. So said that's why he's attracted to it.
Hits and had just an artist that have fun. He is a genius when it comes to music.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna follow this up with her name is spelled Ghislaine Maxwell. She got sentenced to 20 years in prison for sex trafficking with the Jeffrey Epstein female. The woman who was over here bringing the females to the Jeffrey Epstein's island when they were, Trump was there. He wasn't there. He was there. I seen him in the video over here talking about, you see that girl over there? She showed her look good. Yeah, that was you too, nasty boy. So she got 20 years for that, for sex trafficking females to Jeffrey Epstein's island, where all the rest of these other celebrities was at over here sexing these girls, and she got
I feel like that's another case where everybody should have been prosecuted.
Yep, this is what should have happened in the R. Kelly situation, where everybody should have got individually prosecuted for what happened and have their part of it. See, that surviving R. Kelly thing, I feel like that they felt that they got about saying that stuff and being like, hey, this is not going to exempt you from anything that comes after this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they got comfortable saying that, like you said, because they weren't on the payroll no more. That's why I say
and
you really have.
Like it's just like they just wanted to build a prosecution up against him, like he was like the person that they wanted to get. So it's like you have all these people coming forward with even telling on themselves, but it's like we're not. It's kind of like y'all had already signed a plea deal before y'all even start stepping up and talking, because it's kind of yeah, like you basically was like, yeah, I know I'm finna basically.
You had to. You had to, because you wouldn't snitch on yourself like that. Yeah, you wouldn't snitch on yourself like that.
So you had to sign an agreement, and it's really messed up that the prosecutor just took it straight out on R. Kelly. But then again, they wouldn't have had no case had these people not come forward. Like had they not had these testimonies and stuff, they wouldn't have been able to convict him. So, and this kind of goes with what we're talking about. Miss Maxwell. She was the sex trafficker and also the financer who elite associates once were Prince Andrews, this is Queen Elizabeth's son, Bill Clinton, and the list goes on and on for how many other people and personnel that was involved in that. So you was just situation. A high class madam.
Yeah, she is elite high class females that she escorted, pimped out. She was a madam, and she financed and funneled the money to make that happen. So like these Prince Andrews and the Bill Clintons and all them that even Trump, little nasty ass. I seen you in that video going like this. Yeah, she was nice for her. Yeah, I want that one tonight. That's you. I seen you, Trump. You ain't slick. We seen you. or whatever. So you was part of it too. So yeah.
It was 2 things I wanted to say on this. Trevor Noah said earlier this week after the sentences, he said R. Kelly got 30 and she got 20, proving once again that a woman gets paid 2/3 of, or gets 2/3 of what a man does for the same job.
Yeah. Facts.
I feel like R. Kelly was a little different though. Like, what was she?
They had a whole island.
Sex trafficking grown women or children?
All the above. She was sex trafficking all of them. Yeah.
I said they had an island for this.
A whole island. Yeah. You can never escape.
Well, I mean, you can't get mad because her defense was better than R. Kelly's shoe. She had
by the
more
way,
money, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I took it as. Like, but also, they got that island for sale right now. It's super cheap. We trying to go in. We trying to
No, we burning that bad boy to the ground.
Yeah, you can't really. I wouldn't really buy no land based off of that. Like that's. That's
I had to go in there. I probably go get somebody to get a priest to pray over the whole damn place and sprinkle holy water.
I don't even think you can really just.
Yeah, you want to
really. That land tainted.
You got to burn the whole. You got to burn the whole place down and then restart from the bottom.
The other thing I wanted to say was that R. Kelly didn't follow the Boondocks recipe for how he got off the first time. You got to follow it up with one of those hit songs.
Oh man, no! I think it's gonna be so sad because it's like just his.
He's on suicide watch, by the way.
Like too. His talent wise, it's like every project that he's been a part of, or just everything that he's touched musically is just like tainted. Like it's completely tainted.
Yeah.
Yeah. His Spotify listeners done went down. He's black on mine.
Man.
Hey, man. Yeah,
I'm
sorry. I'm out here trying to get girls and stuff. I can't be riding around listening to some R. Kelly, man. It's not gonna go.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's like as soon as you cut on R. Kelly, I'm gonna look at you different. Like little kids.
I said, "Step in the Name of Love" was before this.
Man, that's messed
up. All right, no, nobody's playing at the wedding no more. I got another. The other article is like Nancy Pelosi. She gets her in San Francisco. She's from San Francisco. Her archbishop denies her communion because of her support of the abortion rights or whatever, and to stop speaking publicly about her. He told her she needed to stop speaking in public about her public faith since she was so for this whole abortion thing. So, Kevin, you want to take over this from here? Because
it was just her archbishop in San Francisco denied giving her communion because she speaks out openly about pro-choice, and I guess he didn't feel like that was respectable. So instead of complaining, you know what Nancy Pelosi does? She flies over to Rome and gets communion from the Pope. And I said, that's a boss move. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, I would have did the same thing. I would have did the same thing. I think that's just like why people don't have religion no more. Like that just turns you away from like religion, period. Or like, how can you sit up here and get mad at somebody for their personal beliefs and try to make that a thing between them and God? Like, I don't know. I just feel like you can't judge somebody like that.
He was trying to make a stance for the church, and then your boss, the highest, was like, "No, it's not a problem."
No, because
I would grab my own communion too.
No, but I think in the sense of where people they come into this point of they're trying to do this. You should never compromise on what the words say. The words say what they say. But I say this in the sense of this right here. Yeah, like this is where you should separate church from personal. And if she wanted to come there and get communion, bro, you don't need to stop her from doing that. Let her get communion. Like if she was over here, you probably got people who hate blacks. You gonna not give them no communion? You know what I'm saying? Like
you're not God.
Yeah, you need to stop trying to
judge somebody.
Yeah, I'm not here to judge nobody.
You're not God.
No, not at all. Like that's why I
That
say.
contradicts everything you believe in. The fact that you feel like a sinner can't come to God or a sinner can't come and
Well,
be forgiven and take communion and stuff.
Well,
Like
I'm gonna
that
say
just
it this
basically
way.
contradicts everything.
Don't be surprised if the archbishop gets taken out out being the archbishop, because all it takes is the pope just to say, yeah, you done, son.
You know
I'm
what they
done
do
with
is
you.
they gonna move them around.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
They'll move him somewhere
probably.
else. So
That's
some
basically it.
small place in the corner that nobody don't care about. Yeah, we're moving you, sir. You've done a little bit too much for our liking, sir. But yeah.
It's only because they made it public. I said he should. I mean, yeah, you should have kept your feelings to yourself because now you look like a fool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
now you look like an ass. Like, dude, what's going on now? You took
Doing
your
too much.
bishop,
But
you
again,
took your
boss move by Nancy
title
Pelosi.
and you let it go to
Yeah.
your head.
But it's only about I really don't call I call it a boss move because you make all that goddamn money. You can do that,
Yeah.
when you making
Man,
more
that
money
was
I
a
than.
wouldn't
that
call
was
it
a
a boss
business
move.
write
She could
off.
have
She
been
was going
broke.
there anyway.
She
Okay,
could have been broke
yeah.
and did that. I feel like that's a boss move, period. Because you're not gonna deny me, like
Oh,
making money, like you ain't
no!
my
You
guy.
get it. You doing that for that purpose, but let's not forget that she's a U.S. House of Representative personnel who makes a lot of money, who can just do that off a whim. You know
And
what I
she's
mean? I
cheap.
can do whatever she is.
Guilty.
She's a crook. Anyway, she's a crook just like the rest of the mother crooks. You know what I mean?
Fact.
It might have been a boss move, but it was a crook boss move. But
Yeah.
hey, but she does have the right to whatever she believes in and whatever she wants to do. She shouldn't be denied religious accommodations. I agree for that. But her being
Yeah.
crooked and a crooked politician, I'm still standing on that one. You know what I mean? Regardless of what it is. But yeah, that was that one. And then I think the last one on here was I think we talked about this before, Tanya. Upset baby mama exposes baby daddy for buying his kid or his son
Oh
McDonald's
Jesus.
and not the other ones.
Yes, please let's talk about this. I feel
Yeah.
because this was like a big thing on Facebook, like they was going
TikTok,
in,
yeah.
and I just really feel like this as a woman who has children by two different men. I feel like me personally, because me and Yana talked about this, I don't see how that happened. I don't see how that happened. I don't see one of my children calling their dad and saying like, "Oh, can you bring me this, that, and the third?" On my end, I feel like if any of my kids call their dad and be like, "Can you bring me something to eat?" The first thing he's gonna say is, "Let me speak to your mom," because why haven't you ate? That would be my question as a parent. Like, why haven't you ate? And then another thing to me was just like me personally, bro. My kids gonna eat the same thing. So it's not gonna be like I'm gonna sit up here and be like, oh yeah, you call your daddy and ask him to bring you something to eat, and then you call your daddy, ask him to bring you something to eat. And I damn sure ain't finna expect one of my kids' daddy to bring food for somebody that ain't even his child. Like, I don't know. I just personally don't see how that happened. I really don't. Like, I just don't. I don't see how that even happened. Like, do anybody know the backstory?
I found out that she's like a TikTok, you know, celebrity or whatever. So like that was like
She did it for
staged. It
clout.
wasn't for real. Yeah, she did it for clout. It wasn't for real.
Oh, okay.
But the
I
whole
was gonna
point
say
of
that
it,
just didn't make no sense.
yeah, it made no sense either. But the whole point of it was like I grew up, or me and Tony grew up, where like if one person eat, everybody eat. Like I could come over
Everybody
to
eat.
everybody eat. I could come over to my grandma's house any day, and whatever she cooked, I was welcome to it. If I'm at my
Yeah.
sister's house, and I visit Tonya like all the time. If I'm at her house, my kid's hungry, her kid's gonna eat too. I'm not just gonna order a Domino's pizza for just my kids and not feed her kids too. But that just has to do with
Facts.
your character and just how you were raised.
Well, you talking
Things
about
like that.
y'all sisters and nieces and nephews and stuff. I'm talking about so the baby daddy. If I brought some
Oh no.
food for my kid, would you let him have the food, or you like, no, you ain't bring food for the rest of these?
No, me personally, if it would have happened to me, I would have told, like, say one of my kids called their daddy, because I got 3 girls by one man, and then I have my son by somebody else. let one of my kids call their dad and he just bring, because honestly, I don't blame him for just feeding his child. Because at the end of the day, that's the only person that he's really responsible for. So it's no diss to him for him doing that. I mean, that just shows the type of character you are, that you would, you know what I'm saying, do some stuff like that. But at the end of the day, to each his own. Me personally, my child wouldn't have ate it. I would have been like, you know, I'm sorry that he or she called you. I'm gonna feed them, and she's gonna eat. He or she's gonna eat what the rest of the house is eating. Period. Me personally, or if you're gonna get McDonald's, my other kids would have got McDonald's too. I just personally feel like, me personally, you would have just wasted your time bringing that McDonald's, because they gonna eat what I cooked, or they gonna eat what I'm feeding them. Period. So sorry.
I know where you coming from. I brought my kids.
Sorry that you wasted your money and your time.
McDonald's out here.
But me personally, I think both of my baby daddies would have asked where your mama is.
Well, first of all,
sure, I'm saying if the kid called, and
where your mama is? You ain't ate.
No.
I just dropped by on a Tuesday.
Well, first of all, by you even saying that, it was even crazy in herself to be ignorant as fuck like that, to even say something crazy like that. Because number one, your responsibility as a mother is to provide and make sure all your kids get to eat. Because regardless of their baby daddy is there or not, or who gives what, you know, it's one thing. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to put nobody's business out there. I'm just saying, in a sense of, we had to been at one point together to know that you have 3 other kids. Like, great example, Tanya. If you had 3 other kids and I have a son by you, I'm not going to be coming up in there and being like, all right, here comes Junior. I'm going to give him a little Happy Meal, and all the rest of y'all just looking around being like, what the hell? All right? My dad ain't gave nothing for me. But me personally, I would have been like, well, I would have called Tanya. Hey, you all the rest of your kids there too? All right, cool. Yeah. Hey, look. I might be cheap, but I'm gonna tell you, this is what I would have did. I would have went up there and say, let me get it. No. If I'm going to McDonald's, I'm getting the 30. I'm getting what's the most? You got a 50-piece nugget? I'll take that 50-piece nugget and four large fries, and that's it.
I feel like
and drop that bad boy off. Here you go.
$6 and got a pizza and fed all of them, bro.
Everybody gonna eat.
Same amount and fed all of them.
Everybody gonna eat. So I'm gonna be like this. I need a 50-piece nugget with 4 large fries. Y'all split them.
That's what goes to what Tanya says, that it's about character. Because, like you said, if I know you got other kids, I'm gonna make sure because that's messed up by that guy. But also,
because you can't say, if I did, he probably didn't have enough money. You could have spent the same money that you the $6 you spent on that kids meal. You could have went to Little Caesars.
That was kind of. I'm not saying. I'm gonna say it in the sense of, you know, that's my character. I would have bought the 50-piece nugget and them 4 or 5 large fries. Yeah. I mean, I ain't here to feed. I ain't here to feed. But that's all right. That's but let's flip it. Let's flip it on its head, because we do have people who are probably watching this now, or people just in this mindset where you have to understand, when you're with somebody who has other kids and you're involved with that person with the other kids, you still have to have that mindset of their presence is still there. Now, you can't have that selfish mindset of being like, shoot, that ain't my kids. They got a daddy. They should be able to feed them little monsters that they got. You can't come in there with that mindset of mentality, because by you laying with somebody doing that, that's the character upon you, thinking that, you know, why would you do something like that? I wouldn't even be with nobody who was to have that mindset of mentality like that. Number one, you know what I mean, to even know that. Number two, if you know that, it's almost like me and my best friend talked about. He said, well, you know, it's not my fault. He said, well, you got to think about it. If I were with somebody who got a kid and go designate to the designated dad's house, and then my son, you know, Junior, I take him, you know, I'm a helicopter pilot. I go take him to the on base, and we go over here, look at the helicopters, and I take him for ice cream, and we go to the zoo, you know, and he come back and little Junior go by like this. Yeah, Mom, I had fun this weekend. We went to go look at the helicopter, went to the zoo, we had ice cream, we did all this, and all the rest of your siblings over here being like, man, fuck you, Junior, you went all this stuff, your dad's cool. My dad didn't take me nowhere, but we set up in the house, and that's all we did. Now, are they gonna feel it? You know, now you ask the little kid, Hey, you want to go? Hey, you want to go to your dad's house? Hell no. I'll just stay here and go with me and Junior. Me and Junior's dad. I'm going with them because he's doing something.
Right.
Now, as a dude, I'm not gonna be like. I'm gonna be like, well, if you want to come, that's cool. But I don't want your dad to feel a certain type of way. Like I ain't trying to wow you. This is normal. This is what we do. Me and Junior do this all the time. Now, I can't help it for whatever their dad doesn't do for them. But at the same time, like, you have to be in a mindset, and this is what I told you have to be in the mindset. If you with somebody who got kids and they had a kid before you had your kid, it's a package deal, brother. I mean, right. He said, but what if we are not together no more and I'm just picking up Junior? Relationships are relationships. So you're saying that when the relationship is over with their mom, is over with them too? Is that what you're saying too? You can't be that way. And then
then that's fake. Like you're not being genuine to kids.
It is, like and they gonna remember that.
We're talking about children, bro. Yeah. We're not talking about no grown-ups.
That's the thing.
And I feel like personally, I don't feel like children should know the difference. I should know the difference of we don't have the same daddy, but I shouldn't know the difference of you gonna treat me differently. Like, are you
the treatment should be no different. Like if I go and like
do that.
That's like a great example. That's like if right now, if I go like, well, I'm only gonna spend for my two girls, and I'm not gonna spend that for Elijah. Ain't none of you know what I'm saying?
That's so.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't doing that. First of all, I don't even like. I don't make difference. I don't make but you're making a difference between kids. So you're starting the inside quarrels. Mm-hmm. You're saying like they might. Exactly. This is like the Joseph and the many coats. They all got mad at this nigga because even his dad told him, "Hey man, don't walk around with this coat because they're gonna get jealous about you. So you walk around with this coat, they're gonna put you out. They're gonna get rid of you." So that's why I don't want to cause division within for them to get mad at little Malcolm because I took little Malcolm to the zoo and everything else, and little Malcolm just being little Malcolm. Yeah, we went to the zoo, we went all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he rubbing it in their face, but they feel a certain type of way. I'm just gonna be like, hey, what y'all doing? I'm gonna take all y'all to the zoo. Whatever. I ain't gonna feel a certain type of way.
Depends on your character, and like you should know somebody's character before you have kids with them.
You gotta take them to the zoo on Monday. Free on Monday.
Yeah, and you should know somebody's character before you have kids with them. Like,
I hope you would. I would hope you would. But
yeah, I would hope that I know I was around you long enough where I seen how you interacted with my other kids before I laid down and had a baby with you. So I'm not gonna sit up here and be like me personally, this hasn't happened for me. So I thank God because I don't know how I would react, but I just, you really don't know how you're going to react until it happens. Me personally, had it been a scenario like that and Lil Musa daddy then brought him some McDonald's and my other girls ain't got none, I'm just going to tell him, hey, I'm sorry that Musa called you because he ain't going to eat it. He not. This my house. He stay with me. Unless you come and pick him up and taking him with you, he ain't finna get that Mickey D's, baby. He's not finna get it. He's gonna eat whatever I'm finna cook for the rest of these kids. He's gonna get whatever he finna get. The rest of these rats finna eat. That's what he finna eat. So sorry.
Yeah, I just went ahead and just stayed out of this argument because I felt like it was just an argument for people that have more than one baby daddy, and I only have one that I recognize. So I just decided to stay out of it. I don't know because he buy McDonald's for his kids.
That's just me personally. I can't speak for nobody else, but me personally, it wouldn't have happened because if you pull up and Moo like, oh yeah, I called my daddy to bring me some Mickey D's. First of all, me and Moo gonna have some words. Why you calling your daddy? Because I feed you. That's number one. Number two, he ain't pull up enough for everybody. You ain't gonna get none either, boo. Yeah. Unless you finna get in the car and go with him.
Yeah. Now I would do that. If you want to pick up your kid and y'all go on a lunch date or whatever, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to subject my other.
But I'm not going to sit up here and you finna drop some food off and my other kids don't have that. Yeah, because me, like you said, I think it goes to a parenting thing. When I eat, my kids eat. When my kids eat, I done ate. Everybody gonna eat the same thing. When I'm feeding my kids, I'm feeding my family. So ain't no way in the world my child gonna get on the phone talking about we hungry. That's the number one. And I feel like any dad, if your child get on the phone asking you for some food and they have other siblings, my first thought would have been, let me talk to your mama. Because I know your mama feeding her other kids. So I know she finna feed you too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That's just me.
We grew up where, like I said, everybody ate. If one person ate, we all ate. So that's the mentality I've always had. And you know, if your kid is around me, if one thing ain't gonna happen, just know they gonna eat. I'm gonna feed them.
Facts.
So,
Facts. I've been places where I'm dropping my kids off, or I'm taking my kids to go get their hair did, and I know other kids there. I've walked in with food for everybody because I knew other kids were coming. That's just me as a person. Even when I go to my mama's house, I'm like, hey, I'm bringing enough food for everybody. Everybody finna eat. Like, I'm just not that type of person, because if I don't have enough to give to like buy everybody something, I'm gonna stay at home. I'll make sure my kids eat before we leave. I'm not gonna walk in nowhere with no food and not have enough for everybody. That's just me personally.
Yeah. Hey man, with 20 chicken nuggets for 4 kids, y'all better.
Everybody get 5.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be sitting here over here doing the math. All right, all right, that's 6. All right, y'all get 6 apiece. Y'all gotta. Hey, yeah, y'all gotta. Hey, y'all. I brought y'all some waters too. So I mean, I ain't had no money for no Cokes, but you got some.
I'm just glad it wasn't real. I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I'm glad it wasn't real. I'm glad that wasn't a real scenario, because it was hard out here. Folks was really mad about it.
It might be a real scenario for real. I said it might be going through it. Might be some people going through it. She might have seen one of her neighbors going through it and said, "Let me get this on," and act it out.
I mean, that is a real situation. It's not with food. I think one time, one Christmas on the talk show, Jenny had shared that her and her siblings had different dads, and that one year she will never forget this. But one of her siblings' dad had brought them a present, and the other two, her and the other sibling, they didn't get anything from their dad for Christmas. So that one sibling that had a good dad showered, and her other sister had to basically just sit by and watch their sibling open all those presents that their dad bought them or whatever. And she said it made her feel a certain type of way. And even when she was explaining, she was
as a
like,
kid.
I don't know. As a mom with multiple baby daddies, I feel like, well, only 2. I want them 2. Because I said multiple baby daddies, like all my kids got different.
Like you got like 4.
But anyway, I feel like that's where you step. I feel like that's where you step up as a mom, because I've had that just past Christmas. My girl's daddy didn't get them nothing for Christmas. Nothing. It's been like 4 years since he's gotten them a Christmas gift. I swear. It's been 4 years since he's gotten my kids a Christmas gift. But as a mom, and then, K-Son got moved a gift or whatever. But as a mom, I made sure all my kids had the same amount of gifts. And honestly, I spent more on the girls' gifts than I did Musa. Like, I got the girls way more stuff for Christmas than I got Musa, because I knew that Musa had a dad that would kind of like, you know what I'm saying, help me out in that.
And so also Musa little too, so
I get it.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, plus he's a baby, but at the same time, even still, like, the older he gets, I feel like that's how I would like do our Christmases, because I know they don't have a dad that's gonna buy them no gift. So I'm gonna have to go overboard for them. As far as Musa goes, his dad would help me buy him gifts. So it's like, it's no need for me to overindulge myself for Musa's Christmas, because I know he's gonna have a Christmas because he has an active dad. I'm more concerned about these kids who don't have an active dad, so they don't have to sit there and watch Musa open a whole bunch of gifts and them not have none.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
I feel like my parents, they just like, if my dad bought us something, we would keep it over at his house, and my mom bought us stuff, we keep it over at her house, so we have stuff like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. That's a thing.
Facts.
All right, guys, we're gonna go on, and Yana, you wanna? What
did you see my shirt?
What's your shirt?
I don't see it.
I can't read it. We can't see it. Morehouse. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
You gotta support black schools out here.
HBCUs, yes.
Yeah.
All right. That was Kevin's Icebreakers. I know we spent like at least almost an hour on them, but hey, there was some good ones though. Yeah. So you want to go ahead with your topic, Yana?
Sure. So, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
So last month, during my hiatus, they did relationships, like a whole month of relationships and different types of relationships and um things that work and don't work. And so last week I had did the topic of relationship expectations, which was just things that you should talk about before you decide that you want to get into a commitment with somebody, because a relationship is. And this week I decided to talk about the five love languages. Um, it's actually a book called The Five Love Languages, written by a psychologist. I don't remember his name, so sorry.
That's the one with the
But
tree on the cover.
yeah, but basically it's just a book that highlights five languages of love and how they can be used to express oneself or help the other person in a relationship express to the other person in that relationship. We had the copy. I actually have a copy of the book, and I've had it for like several years. Like I was supposed to read it as like a post-marital assignment, and just never read it. And then I read it as a post-divorce assignment. It's like one of the first assignments that my therapist gave me, because one of my goals in therapy was to try to get better positive communication and not have toxic traits that would carry over into like a future relationship. And so she made me read the five love languages. And I honestly thought, like, okay, this is written by a psychologist. It's probably gonna be boring. They're probably just gonna just list this and just give like data. But no, like he listed all five love languages, listed them with stories in relationship to his patients that he has, and then gave good ideas and things that you can do to express those five love languages. So, I'm going to just, list those five love languages, because I'm not really sure if, you guys know what those five love languages are. And I don't know, y'all want, if one resonates with y'all more than the other one, if y'all use them in your relationships, if you feel like you need to give advice on people out there that are listening that want to use these love languages in a relationship, we'll talk about and discuss it. So, five love languages. First one is words of affirmation. Then there is quality time, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch. And those are not like in any order or whatsoever of importance. I just listed them. For myself, I resonate more with words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service. Gifts are okay, but I'm more of a person that likes to give gifts than receive gifts. I tend to overthink. So if you buy me a gift and it's a really, really nice gift, I'm gonna figure out what you want. Like what is it that you want? Because you bought me a gift and all this kind of stuff. Physical touch is not really that important. I'm not really a person that has to like or something like that. So that's probably like on the bottom tier of my love language.
I'm sorry, but your ex in the background just look like
wait.
Be facial expressions.
I do not like to listen to all this stuff with him on this podcast. But like I just don't. Like I don't like the whole touching thing. I guess maybe like my idea of like quality time, which is like one of my love languages, that kind of does overlap with physical touch, I guess. Like I guess sort of kind of.
It's weird.
But that's my take on love languages. Have I used them? I definitely have. It was like I said, I went to therapy and I wanted to, be more open. And so I've asked those questions, like if you're in a relationship, you should ask these questions. Like, what is your love language? Or like your relationship expectations. So there's no confusion or complication, and that there's not you're not sitting out here and like confused. And I say this because I came across a Facebook story where it was a guy's perspective of him and his wife. They were in a long-term commitment. They grew apart, and then he went off to be with somebody else. Wife became stationary. And then all the things that he was saying in this monologue, the only thing I could think about was like, if somebody would have sat down and discussed love languages, y'all probably would not even have had an issue. And y'all would have not have gone through any of this stuff, because he was like, she doesn't listen. That's a love language. She doesn't communicate. That's a love language. She didn't do this because I thought she would do that. How would she know if you didn't tell her that that's your love language? So it's just really important. Like, it just keeps down confusion. And I just really hope that people actually read the book. It's not even that long. It's less than 200 pages. And I learned something. I learned more about myself. I learned about what my love languages actually are. And I learned what a partner's love language is. And then, it's just been executed. And it's just been nice ever since. So
I personally have read the book before. When I was married, I went to couples therapy. We went on like a retreat or whatever. And we read the book at the retreat or whatever. And also another thing that, like, because I did all that therapy stuff too, as like in my marriage and stuff. But I feel like really it's like it's really based off of communication, because one of the best advice that I got when I was going to marriage counseling was, you're not a mind reader and neither is he. And I feel like people assume that, like, when you're in a relationship with somebody or you're dating somebody or you're married to somebody, that you feel like if they can't read your mind and know exactly what's wrong with you, you tend to get upset. And I feel like that's just an expectation that's not realistic, because he cannot read your mind, so he's not going to be able to know what's wrong with you unless you tell him, and vice versa. And he's not going to be able to know what to do to fix it, or vice versa, if you don't open up your mouth and let it be known, this is what I need for you. And I feel like people are very vulnerable when they're in that stage of having to express their feelings and knowing how to express their feelings, and also asking somebody what they need because of rejection. I feel like the biggest fear is the rejection, because you want to be vulnerable with that person and you want to be in a space where I can tell you how I feel and tell you what I need, but your fear is them rejecting you. And I really had a great session Friday. That was my dad's death anniversary, and I went to therapy because I was having some mental health issues. And the best, like, I took a lot from my session with her, and one of the best advice that she gave me, and it kind of like has soothed my mental health, is really like the word acceptance. Like, once you accept the fact that, once you accept anything, and it's funny because that's the last stage of grief. If you ever learned the 7 stages of grief, acceptance is the last stage. And I feel like when you're coming to somebody and you have acknowledged their love language and you're trying to act in their love language, one, I feel like everybody resonates with all love languages. You may prefer one over the other, but honestly, all those love languages need to be met, because you can overextend one love language and then ignore the other, and it is not a balance. So it really should be a balance of all of them. Words of affirmation, gifts, quality time, all that stuff should be like a balance. And then two, just don't be realistic about the fact that they're not a mind reader. So you might have to verbally let them know what you need to feel love. Like, you really might have to do that, and not just feel like they should just know. And then two, you have to accept whatever response you get and not be afraid of that rejection. Because I feel like a lot of time that's the problem with people and being vulnerable with their mate, is that if I come to this person and I tell them exactly how I feel and I tell them what I need for them to get better, and a lot of time you see a lot of marriages fall apart. You see a lot of relationships fall apart because of that one thing, because of that one conversation. Because neither one of us, both of us, are too prideful, are too stubborn. We're fighting over stuff that's really not our issue. and because we have other issues, but we're not willing to address those issues because of the fear of rejection. That's really all it is. Like, you just fear rejection. That person's not going to see it how I see it. That person's not going to acknowledge it, or that person's just going to tell me that that's not what they want, and you're scared of it. But you just have to get over it. Like, so, period.
Heaven, what do you think about the 5 love languages? Does any love language resonate with you? Do you feel strongly about one than the other?
I got 3 notes right here. Here we go. All right. So I read this book like over 10 years ago. I said, I don't know.
Really?
A lot of people don't know my father's a pastor and everything. So like they were really big into like spiritual and like getting to know yourself and all that stuff. So like, I read it back in the day. Mine is quality time. I said, I can't help it. I said, you spend time with me, I'm going to fall in love with you. Also be mean to me. I don't know. All right. And then like I said, I read this.
So
toxic.
And Rick saying so toxic, man. So toxic.
I want to know why you being mean to me. I'm sorry. No.
We want you to have a toxic, happy relationship, okay?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a good time.
I can't judge. I know why too. Like, even if you mad at me, I'm like, why you mad? Like, let's talk about it.
That's it. I was trying to name them off. I don't know if you can see me mouthing off stuff when you were saying the love languages, but I was trying, or before you named them, I was trying to see if I remembered them all. The one that I forgot was words of affirmation, or no, not words of affirmation. Acts
of service. Yeah.
Acts of service. That was one I forgot. Because I said that one's hard for me because like I'm just generally like a decent dude. I'm not gonna say I'm a good dude or anything, but I'm a decent dude. So I do stuff, and then people be like, "Oh, he did that for me," and I'd be like, "I would have did that for anybody. I don't know what the big deal is."
Yeah, I think that's. I can agree with you on that. That is hard for me to do because it's like I just do stuff because it needs to be done.
Yeah, I'll give you a story. One time, I was out just hanging out with people, and like I had a plate of food, and this guy, the person next to me was super drunk, and like I was eating, and I was like, "Yeah, you look like you need some of this." And I just gave it to him. He was like, "Ever since that day, I knew you was a good dude, and you were one of my best friends." And I was like, "I would have did that for anybody." I don't.
Yeah. But that's what I think. That's the most hardest love language is acts of service for me.
Sure. Then the last one that I had was I've said it since the second episode. B, you were there with Monty. I said communication is key to any relationship. I said, I mean, any relationship. It could be romantic. It could be your best friend. Communication is key. If y'all not going to talk about it, it's going to blow up eventually. And then you like, why did this blow up? Because three or four arguments ago, this was the core.
This is the problem.
It's been a problem for years. We just ain't talked about it. I feel, and honestly, I feel like, I don't know, me personally, one of the things that made me like want to get a divorce was the fact of communication. Like, it got to the point where we just not gonna talk about it. So at this point, what do? You just walk away. Like, that's how I felt, because it was kind of like when you get to the point where you ain't communicating, I'm not communicating, you trying to communicate, I ain't trying to. At some point, you just got to go ahead and just.
You get so frustrated, but you don't want to communicate, so you just leave.
You just got to go ahead and pull the plug, because it's insane to just keep going around in circles, and we ain't talking about the issue. We not gonna address the issue, and then we just gonna keep arguing. Everybody finna do that forever. So at the end of the day, it's like we just gonna walk away from this. Then I feel like once you walk away from it, or you go ahead and close the book, it's like, what are we talking about at this point? We don't have to bring up those issues. We don't have to talk about it. We ain't got to address it, because guess what? We're not going nowhere. Like, it's over with. So now the only thing left is like these kids. So like you said, communication is important, because it will destroy a relationship. And then once that relationship, it's not coming back from that. Like, it's just not.
So like my thing with one of the love languages that I think it's just kind of controversial is like the gifts. Like, I feel like this is a society thing where like gifts are only expected from like a male to give a woman gifts, but we don't really highlight when a woman gives a male gifts. Like I've seen like celebrities lately, like the females, some of them have been like gifting their man like for a birthday or anniversary or special occasion like land.
I
And
feel
then
like
like
it's frowned upon
yeah, it's frowned upon. And it's just been like a whole
for a woman to
backlash.
gift a man.
Dang, so like she can't buy her man a gift. Like, but if it
Yeah.
was the other way around where it's like a guy that's like gifting her car, money, homes,
It would
jewelry,
be
it's
accepted.
like it's acceptable. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's cool. And I just think that's just just really weird. So like as a males, guys, like is it weird for women to like buy y'all gifts or do y'all accept gifts from women?
Mine. You want to go first? I said mine is like I don't like. I like giving gifts, but they got to be like sentimental gifts or like something I was like I knew you would like, and that's the way that
Yeah.
I like to receive gifts. Like that's why I don't like buying gifts for Christmas because everybody's like, just give me money. I was like, that's not what Christmas is for, man. And you get money every day when you go to work. But I said I got you this because I was thinking of you and I thought that you would like it. And if somebody gave me a gift like that, it don't matter who it is. I said I would gladly accept it. Or something
Yeah.
you knew that I needed. Had a girl bring over towels one time. I said, "Yeah, thank you." All I
Yeah,
got
I
is
take
money.
it.
Yeah, I'm like that too. It's like the little things. Like when my gifts, they don't even have to be big gifts. Like I like gifts like when you like, I don't know. I like when I receive my gifts, I like to know that you paid attention to like what I like to do or like what I do or like like when I get a gift, it's like it means more to me. Like even if it's like $1 gift, if you really just paid attention to like what I've been talking about or saying, and then you give me something that I've been talking about, or you give me something like that I've been doing, it's like it makes me feel better because I'm like, dang, like he's paid attention to what I've been saying or whatever.
I
So
love that. I love that. Like the gifts that like are sentimental. I love giving sentimental gifts. My cousin's girlfriend, my nurse bae, me and her joke all the time because if Beyonce better marry Diana. If he don't marry Diana, too bad. She but me and her, we're talking about gifts or whatever during the holidays. I'm like, yeah, a gift hits different when it's been researched and developed like a term paper. Like that means you put in effort and time. You figured out what I like. You paid attention to what I've said or my interests, and now you formulated a whole gift and gave it to me. Like it
yeah,
just hits different.
yeah, I like gifts like that. I feel like for me to give a gift, I'm not good at it. I ain't gonna lie because that's just not. I'm just not good at gift giving.
But you got to be
But
in
I
tune
feel
to.
like
But you got to get in tune with that person. I mean, dudes are pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? Like
no,
if
I feel like to me,
no,
like
no,
I
no,
just feel
like
like
it
I be
has to
trying to be
be
safe. So like my gift would be like,
no,
here you
there's
go,
no,
go buy your own gift.
no,
I'm not good at it. I'm
but
saying I'm
but
not personally, I'm
yeah,
not good
but
at it.
hey, I'm not good at shooting free throws, but doesn't mean I need to go in the gym and go practice some free throws.
Baby, I need to
So I
practice it
mean,
then be okay.
yeah,
I'm practicing.
you need to see, you need
But
to
I'm
practice it.
just
You know,
not
hey, if you know your guy's a smoker, how about you give him some raw cones and give him some paraphernalia? You know that's what he do. It's simple.
okay.
We are
This is
simple
my whole
people.
thing with gift giving. This
You
is
know I
my whole thing with
smoke.
gift giving.
I appreciate
Because
you.
I
Buy me
probably be
this
like, I'll
gravity
sit there
bong. I
and be
appreciate
thinking.
that.
But I'll sit there and probably be thinking about something like, oh, this would be nice to give to you or whatever. And then like I have this whole like, if I give you it and then you don't appreciate it, that
Yes.
kind of
See,
aggravates me.
but
Because I'm the
see,
type of person like, bro, you don't appreciate what I just did for you, you don't appreciate what I just gave you like that. It makes me like that's why I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it.
Small
I'm not.
story, you guys. I don't know if it's
Oh,
the wine,
that's
but
cool.
small story. I one anniversary for me and Brandon. No, it was for his birthday. I bought Brandon an Alabama hoodie because Alabama had won a national football title that year. And I was like, oh, okay, let me buy him a hoodie. Bought him a hoodie, like ordered it off of Amazon from a seller, got a neat because it wasn't like a carbon copy of all the other hoodies out there. and was like so proud because I am an avid Georgia fan. So you know how hard it is to purchase another team gear when you're like riding for your team. Anyway, I packaged it up in a nice bag with a card, gave it to him. You think he ever wore that hoodie or appreciated that gift? And then it was at that moment that I said I was never gonna buy him another gift. And I have not, you guys. I have not.
Because that's how I feel. Like, even with like small things, I just feel like once I feel like you don't appreciate it, or it's just like, I don't know.
Guys,
So
it's no. I feel like it's an energy thing. If I feel like that, I go all out and try to get you something. And me personally, like, you know, if I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna give you some good quality stuff. I'm not gonna give you this, you know. My Uncle Charles went in the back basement and made this print and print this off. I just feel like that, even though the gift was a thoughtful gift, but like at the same time, like if I feel like that I put money or put some kind of effort, like I would say, I'm not gonna just give you just the bootleg joint. I'm gonna give you the official joint. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna give you the Nike joint. Like I'm gonna give you the top rate stuff. But if I don't feel like that you trying to, no, it's a point of like it counts, but at the same time, like let's be for real. Like if I'm gonna wear this, I'm not gonna wear something that's itchy or wool and that's all the thought that counts. But like I always say, effort is what I see in it. Like it could be something like raw as hell, and then you put the effort into it. And I was like, you know, put the raw effort. But she like I never wore that hoodie. You act like I never wore that hoodie. I wore that hoodie. I wore that bad boy. I wore that.
I seen him in that hoodie.
Yeah, thank you. I wore the hoodie. I still got the hoodie. But anyway, like I'm gonna say about my love language. Was always told that I was a good gift giver. I put the thought and the process and the mindset into giving the gift. Whatever. I was always told I was a good gift giver. You know, I always did this to anybody. I see what you use all the time. Tanya, if I know that you like this and this is what you're into, I'm gonna give you exactly what's gonna be useful to you. You're gonna use all the time.
The crazy thing is that
that's just me.
But you know the crazy thing is like your love language is gift giving. So you might be really good at gift giving because that's what you want in return. But
no, I don't. I'm gonna say
I'm giving gifts, but what do you want?
Yeah,
but see, what I want out of what I want. Mine's like type of deal is like mine's affirmation. Like you ain't got to tell me that you. It's the showing the appreciation. I don't. You ain't got to tell. You know, you tell me, oh yeah, I think I appreciate it. You thought about me. This is nice. That's nice to hear. But like at the same time, if I don't feel like that you, or I feel like the energy back that you don't appreciate it, then I'm just be like, all right, cool. Well then, what's that?
No,
I don't like more like acts.
No, mine's are more acts. Mine's always, but I'm always about the action, bro. It's all about that. I'm off of energy. Like if you dish out,
it really is. Like his is always.
Mine's acts.
Acts of service.
Yeah, that's all it is. And yeah, and the one for myself, no, and the one I always try to like going on to like move is more of the mine is morely focused on forget the gifts. I'm not caring about that because I give myself. You know, I know what I want. I go in there and get my own stuff because I know exactly I use what I need to use. But should not focus on communication. You know, like having that conversation. We need to have that conversation with that transparency, being aware of a conversation that we having and being accountable for what we're talking about. Like when I say in a situation where, hey, I feel in and I tell you what I do, and I feel like that this is what I feel like that I would like for you to improve on as a person, because that shit starts to get on my nerves, then I'm just gonna start just being, you know, I'm upset. I'm gonna tell you like what the signs of disrespect that you show me, then I'm gonna be like this. Okay, so if I go and dish that same shit you doing to me to you, you're gonna feel like I mistreated you. But like I just told you what I don't like. Like, you know, I feel like that this is I'm gonna show you and I'm gonna tell you why I feel like this is disrespect. And I'm gonna say, and this is where I'm coming from, why it feels like disrespect to me. And if you just saying like
that hostile tone that you got now.
Yeah, no, I don't come with the hostile tone. I come to you and tell you this is what bothers me. Now, if you come to me and say, "Oh, I didn't know that bothered you," explain to me why does that do that. I'm gonna be like this. Well, that's what I feel like. You can take however you want to take it. I'm just gonna tell you like this is what I feel of disrespect. If you come to me,
one of the reasons why I love B. He always said, "I'm gonna say what I say. You can take it how you feel."
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like
I'm not gonna
personally. I don't know my love language, but I feel like it's like what you're saying, communication. I feel like if I had to like zone in on one of them, it would be communication because I get really upset when there's no communications. Like all the rest of the stuff, like words of affirmation, gifting, and all that stuff, I really don't care too much about that stuff. Like if that's not met, I really don't care. But one thing that really does like irk me when it's not met is communication. That really irks me.
Well, none of these love languages can be met if there's no communication. Like none of them.
Yeah. Communication is foundation. Communication is foundation. This is why y'all we communicate.
Yeah. I mean, but it has to be. And when you have
love languages, as long as we communicate, I guess that's just me.
I mean, the love language, like you said, the love languages come with communication. Like you have to have that transparency. Like the transparency has to be had. And like I said, like regardless of the conversation is being uncomfortable, we need to have I like to have uncomfortable conversations. I'm pretty sure y'all can tell you that. I'll talk about them weird things that you don't want to talk about. I'll talk about that person that you feel I felt a certain way because X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, and 3. I'm just gonna tell you like it is because about this stuff that transpired and boil over to some other stuff. And you talking about 2 weeks ago I got tired of you when you did this and this. I didn't know that you didn't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Like you should have said something. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm on the spot. I'm almost like Tanya on the spot. I talk to. Yeah, I want to talk to you on the spot. I'll bring you out to the side. I ain't gonna embarrass you. I'm gonna be like this. Hey, real quick. I really don't like when you be, being like when I'm talking to you on the phone, you got loud music in the background. Or when I'm talking to you, you be smacking on the phone and shit. I'm like, I don't know that's like it might sound like some petty stuff, but it really ain't petty.
But at the end of
the day, it's not.
I feel like those are, if you're trying to make it work, those are little things to adjust to.
Yeah, but rather for me I'd rather tell you now than say just blow up on you and be like this. I'm tired of it. You smacking's getting on my nerves. I'm done with you. I'm done.
Yeah, for sure.
I tell you, bro.
Me personally, I don't really have one that I'm like more fond over than the other. Like honestly,
and that's okay. That's okay.
That's fine. But that's fine. That's fine. But that's fine. But
I didn't know my own love languages until I read this book, and then discussed it, and then now execute it. And then it's not just one-sided. Like that's the part that I want people to.
Very possible that it could be a little bit of everything. Like you want to be confirmed that you're a love.
Mm-hmm.
You love some physical touch every now and again. You like it when you spend time with your significant other. You like a gift every now and again. I say it could be a little bit of everything. Right. Nobody has.
It probably does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but I guess the base
than the other one, and that's the part that you have to figure out, and that you have to figure out from your partner. Like which out of the 5 of these, which one is more important to you? Like
and then also too is like I think also too for me is like trying to be more well-rounded into like trying different love languages. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be like the same dry ass doing the same move, and like do something different. Like when I say do something different, you gotta just like, I don't know, like, the things you didn't do before, like just try different love. You know what I'm saying? Communication is always the key, period. Like you just have to be upfront about the communication. As much as uncomfortable as probably is, you just gonna have to have that conversation. And we're here for each other to like make each other well known of what's going on that's affecting me. You ain't gotta come to me and being like, oh, you okay, B, today? Is everything good? You ain't gotta do that every day. I mean, if you see me in my ways and my feelings, then come to me after that. But like you ain't got to like, that's good to check on each other. Like I always say, I'm gonna check on you probably a couple times out the week. Hey, is everything good? What you want to talk about?
It's like what you said earlier. Once you in tune with somebody, I said you would know. You'd be like, you know something.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I said the better communication of like not like letting something manifest into a problem, and then I want now I want to talk to you after the fact that I know something going on. I just gotta nip it in the bud and just say, hey, what's your problem? What's your issue? In a sense of what can I do to help you or what you got going on? Because something you never know. I might not be able to do something to help your situation out or whatever before it comes to a head. It's just kind of like having that communication with somebody and and talking to them and having goals, plans, and aspirations of what you want to do in the future. So it's just more like I always say, like communication is always like the key to like Kevin said to everything. But it's just about finding out about the love language, about the other person's love language. And a good thing to do is to ask them what their love language is. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I want people to get just asked. Like, and I think that's like a thing that I had to learn when I was learning these love languages, things like that. It's just to communicate better. Not only communicate better, but just communicate period. Like, don't just like hold it in because you're like patient, because holding it in is going to be worse than a confrontation of just like actually just saying it. But then that has to be a level of comfortability, which you being comfortable enough to even just say that. And so, like, I mean, I can only just speak for myself of just being in the place of just being comfortable, where you just like, all right, this might sound like fucked up, this might not be like filtered properly, but this is how I feel. That person, and then that person's being like, all right, cool, that's fine. Like, I get it. I'm not gonna hold no fault against you, and there you go. Communication.
That's exactly what I was just finna say. I was like, communication. I always say communication is key, and it's easy to communicate with me because I'm so blunt. Like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna say how I feel in this moment, and I hope that.
I think people get too touchy about how people feel. I think that's like that really what deters the communication in a relationship, because I might say something. What irks me is when somebody asks you what's wrong, and then you tell them what's wrong, and then they get mad. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, because I cannot stand for a person to ask me what's wrong, and then I tell you what's wrong because you asked me what's wrong, and then you get mad about me answering.
Yeah, a lot of people can't take that though. I don't know.
Like,
so maybe I'm a rare breed.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve for me, and I just feel like a lot of communication goes wrong because that person is asking a question and they're not ready for the answer.
Oh no! If your answer upset me, I'd be like, I'm gonna need a second, real quick. I said, let me take a step back and think about it.
That's why I feel like whenever you asking somebody what's wrong with them, like whenever you're asking somebody, if you're gonna come out and ask a question of like questions like this, like what's wrong with you, you need to have an open mind to be ready to hear whatever they say.
It could be anything.
If you're asking them, what do you need from me? You need to have an open mind and be ready to receive whatever they say that they need from you. Like, don't ask questions that you don't want the answer to, and then you get the answer, and then you get mad about the answer that you didn't receive, and then now we ain't communicated nothing, we ain't addressed nothing, and now we arguing about something else that we can add to the pile of arguments we already having. I mean, for real. At that point, I feel like you just need to be ready. Like, even if you're just not ready for the conversation, just say that. Say, hey, I'm not ready to have a conversation.
You shouldn't have asked what was wrong. I mean, but also, like I said, Kevin, I was like, I need to take a step back.
You're making my point. It's like when somebody see you upset, they know you upset, and they see you upset, but they really not ready to have that conversation. That's what aggravates me, because it's like,
I said, you gotta ask. Hey, let me take a step back real quick.
You're upset or whatever, but I'm not ready to have the conversation, Kevin. I can clearly see you're upset, Kevin, but I'm not ready to have the conversation yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And then just let it be that. But don't come to me because you
my
see me
tactic
upset,
is
talking about what's
go
wrong
smoke a
with
square real quick. I'll be right back.
That part, and then we'll come back. Let me have
you can do that. There's just so many things you can do.
Gotta see where you coming from. Gotta see how I feel on the situation.
What's wrong with me, and then you're arguing about what's wrong with me instead of addressing the issue. That just be my thing. That's just my pet peeve, personally.
All right, Ayanna, did you have some?
No, I just want people just to, like we said, like none of these love languages that I listed or that we talked about, none of them can be executed if you don't have communication. Like good communication, positive communication, healthy communication. Like if you can't get three things in your communication, then there's no need for you to even like be asking questions of like, hey, what's your love language? And how can I do that? Because that don't make no sense if we can't even communicate and agree on like the simple stuff like a grocery list.
Yeah, you got to. Oh yeah, you got to. Yeah, we love each other, but ain't no foundation there, so this is gonna fall apart once we.
That's the foundation. I think that's like one of the things that like this love languages and relationship expectations when we were talking about relationships and like us like even bridging those relationships into like inviting people into the relationship, having an open relationship or a threesome or anything like that. None of that can be done if you don't have a foundation in the core relationship. You have a foundation in the core relationship, you can explore all those other options as long as the communication is good and y'all score.
I had 2 points that I wanted to make real quick before we move on. And some stuff that we talked about. I'll just be writing notes. I got a book here. I'll just be writing notes. I said, I feel you, Tanya, when you say you don't like buying gifts for people because once you buy something, like you put the time in to buy something for somebody and they seem like they don't like it, you'd be like, next time I'm just giving money. That's just what everybody's default.
Yeah.
That's just
yeah, that way.
Oh, and my second, I have a theory about women buying clothes for men. You guys want to hear it?
What's your theory?
I think that when you're in a relationship and a woman buys clothes for you, as a man, I feel like y'all purposely buy not so good stuff because y'all don't want other women to be hitting on us while we out.
Not true.
That's not true.
I don't know. I think it's
because I feel like when you're buying clothes for your significant other, you're buying clothes for like looking on like.
You sound distant. Can't hear you.
I feel like when you buying clothes for your significant other, it's not gonna be like I'm not finna have you out here looking crazy because then I'm not interested in you. Like
I'm not looking crazy, but also
I think you look good in it. I want to see you in it. Like no. Now I have heard this theory. My grandma used to say, if you buy a man shoes, he'll walk out your life. I've heard.
Yeah, I ain't bought no pair of shoes now.
Sorry.
So y'all see. My theory was proven. I'm checking
and
this
neither
off.
one of them here.
Checking
so
this
it
off.
Must be true. My grandma theory was true.
Yeah. I'm always saying the truth there.
Okay. But me personally, I don't know. I like gifts, but I like it to have thought in it. Like I like this. Like it really don't matter though. Like it don't have to be expensive. It can be handmade.
Find out what they like or like interest or something. Like I bought.
Make you a macaroni necklace. You gonna.
Yeah, like I will wear.
Honestly, I feel like handmade gifts are the best gifts. Like
it's our 1 year anniversary. I made you a macaroni necklace.
I don't know. I'm just not like that. I'm just not like that. I'm not like no person like. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm just not superficial like that. Where it gotta be, like, I don't know. Me personally, like. When you get me something or you give me something, I like to know that you had me in mind because I'm not like a superficial person where it got to be like it has to cost so much money or it got to be expensive or it got to be this, that, and the third. Honestly, if I know that if you bring me a gift and I look at it, I'm like, this man really thought about me when he picked this out. It don't have to be expensive or anything. Just knowing that you listened to me or you saw an interest that I like. Or you saw like one of my hobbies, or you saw like what I like to do, and you just went off of that. That's more sentimental to me than like how much it costs or how.
Well, those are the best. Those are the best kind of gifts.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the best kind of gifts. You know, if somebody likes something, like I bought candles one time because like you like candles, so I said Bath and Body Works candles,
like stuff like that. Or you like, hey, I bought you. Like
I didn't know this was a thing with guys, but apparently people don't care about if y'all ate or not. Ask that man if he hungry. Ask that man if he hungry. And if he hungry or if he ate today. And if he say no, send that man a meal. I promise you, he will love your ass forever.
That's true. I can see that. But it's like little stuff.
She's talking about somebody new. I haven't got a meal from Ayanna in days.
Are you not my man?
So I was just gonna say that. Like, men are so funny how they be trying to expect you to do stuff for them, and he's like, "We not together no more." So
We're
why
not
are you doing
together anymore. If you wanted meals on
Hey,
demand,
first of all, a giving person. I will grill food, and Yana has came to my place and ate, and I offered to her. That's just me. I don't let nobody go no starving. That's just me. I like to cook. That's what I like to do.
Or not. And first of all, don't act like that. I said because last Sunday I cooked. Matter of fact, I cooked the last 2 Sundays in a row. I cooked you Father's Day dinner, and I cooked last Sunday at your house. Don't play with me on this podcast.
Yeah. So just to let y'all know, if anybody listening out here, I like my thing is I like my thing is like I like cologne. That's just me, and I don't get any kind of cologne. That's just me. That's why I like gifting myself because I like certain type of cologne. Like it's just me. That's like
I'm simple, y'all. I'm like this. Like you done came to my house and you notice I need a can opener, and the next time you come back,
exactly. I do that. I do that for everybody. I did that for everybody.
Like you knew what I needed. Like that's me.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Like that. Like you just paid attention to like, oh, this girl needs
Tanya,
a can
do you need a can opener? That was
oddly
specific.
I'm just saying, like you need one. I need
hey, does DoorDash a can opener for somebody to pick it up from Dollar General to you? Can opener.
Y'all watching? If y'all want to get, hey, hop in my inbox and be like, "Girl, I just sent you a can opener." Okay?
You know what, Tanya? I'm gonna order you a can opener from Amazon. It'll be there on Tuesday.
Thank you. Like that's just me. It's like little stuff like that. Or you that came over, you like, oh, this girl might need some blinds for kids and tore the blinds. Next time I come back, I'm gonna bring her some blinds. Like I don't know. That's just me.
Tanya, I'm not buying you blinds because Musa gonna tear them up anyway. Musa gonna tear them up anyway.
I gotta go to Home Depot.
I'm gonna buy you.
Way. My thing is, I'm gonna let you know. I said this was several steps out of my normal daily activity. I've never been to a Home Depot.
No.
And see, and then that'll make me like you even more, Kevin, because I'm like, this man that went to Home Depot to get me these blinds. Like that's just me. I don't know. I'm gonna
buy you a wine bottle opener or something that you're gonna be able to use because you know the kids gonna get it.
Somebody already did that, B.
You already did, yeah. We used it. We already used it.
Somebody beat you to it. But I don't know. Y'all, let's talk about Roe versus Wade.
All right, so that's the next topic we're talking about. We all know that the Supreme Court overruled Roe versus Wade, and I kind of told y'all that was because when you let the Republicans have 2 people in these Supreme Court justice positions who are highly opposed of Roe versus Wade, and they knew that this was going to be a controversial situation sometime down the road. It goes all the way to follow up with Bush. He nominated his personnel who he wanted into the Supreme Court justice. He made sure that he put a strong Republican personnel that was going to be conservative into that. And then Amy Coney Barrett was the last one that got nominated in around that whole situation, that conversation, like Sammy Davis Jr. And she never give you a straight answer. Which I wish she would just told you. As soon as I get a chance to vote against Roe versus, I'm going to vote it down. That she was going to do that. That's why she's putting that placement. And unfortunately, the new appointed Supreme Court justice, she wasn't in the opportunity in there long enough to be able to have a vote to be able to overturn this Roe versus Wade.
She just got sworn in like this week.
Yeah, she didn't do it, and they did it on purpose like that. Just to let y'all know.
Yeah,
and it did, and they set this up. The Republicans set this up for so. And as soon as it did,
thing that's crazy is that we have a Democrat in office, but it's
no. You have a retro Democrat. You have an old Democrat, crazy Democrat Democrats and Republicans are all the same because Uncle Joe he's on that kumbaya. All friends. Remember, I was a senator. I'm friends with y'all. They ain't friends with you, Joe.
Like, I don't know.
They ain't your friends.
Say it's not so. It's crazy that we have a Democrat in office, and there's so many things that are being passed
because he set themselves up from when Bush and also definitely Trump had set the four-way for it to sabotage Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe tried to come in.
Yeah,
he's part of the. You got to understand, this dude was for the Crime Act bill in the 90s. How can you believe somebody who's going to talk about? I'm talking about you, the front runner. 3 strikes, you're out. I believe if you did this, bro. I don't believe nothing that Uncle Joe said because he's a none but a damn Republican in the Democrat clothing. That's all it is. He is nothing but he ain't gonna do nothing. This is the same man. This is the same man who just sent $80 million additional dollars on top of the $15 billion you sent to them Ukraine. You could have given me that. You could have gave $10 billion of that to reparations. The other $5 you could have gave that to a stimulus, and that the $80 million you just sent, you could have at least got some people and got some people and paid off some of their student loans with some of that. But you gave it to somebody. You keep feeding this war torn country over here for what? Everybody over here struggling. How about you pass a bill saying that rent can't go up nowhere across the board? How about that? You over here sending money. You see, it's like this. You want to fix this, but you don't pay attention to that. Now you got all this money and what Uncle Joe did for y'all. But sent money off to another country. Allowed and not even set up to where vote is a controversial situation and then put these people on blast like I would have every single person who agreed and voted on this Roe versus Wade put you on blast. This is how this person voted. Now, since this election's coming up for some of these people to get read up, how about you tell how they voted? I want it on public. I don't care if it's on C-SPAN. Forget that. I want it on I don't care. No, but the deal is you're the ones who supporting it. Yes, it's the Supreme Court, but at the same time, what is the Supreme Court supposed to do? You're supposed to rule on things that already are in law, bro, not your personal opinion. These are laws that are set and chosen for a reason. You're going to personal what I believe in. That's where we cross the line. Law is the law. You interpreted how Roe versus Wade even came about as that saying that a woman has a choice to choose if she wants an abortion or not. You're saying you're going backwards and say women don't have rights? Take that away too.
You might as well. That's how
you might as well
take away all the rights that we have fought for women as far as
where are we? We're going. We're retro. We're not progressing. We're being retro.
We're saying that you have like as a woman that we had to like fight for. You basically are taking that away with this act because me personally, I feel like nobody should be able to sit up there and vote on what you do with your body. Period. Yeah. If that's the case, then why aren't y'all voting on men's bodies? Why aren't y'all saying, "Oh, man can't have vasectomies anymore"? That wasn't an act that was passed. We're talking about women having an abortion, but ain't nobody saying nothing to these men about having vasectomies. Ain't nobody saying nothing to these men about taking birth control. It's like y'all trying to control a woman's body. It's so much.
Y'all hear about this 10-year-old girl in Ohio?
What?
With her, it said she's pregnant, and like the judge basically told her she just gonna have to have a baby.
Yeah, pretty much. It's an opportunity now.
And that's just nasty to me. That's the part that like people don't understand. They only look at abortion just like one-sided, like, oh, it's a fast way of like birth
just killing a baby.
No, it's like
let's go back to you just said a 10-year-old. What your parents at? Number one. Number two. This is the whole perfect analogy of what I said before. A woman should be able to have a right to do, if she's given the right to vote and she got the right to give birth or give life to another person, they have a choice.
Giving birth to a child.
That's wild, first of all.
Giving birth to a baby. Like I can't even fathom that. Like it's not like
she was out being promiscuous. Somebody raped her. and I believe
Had
it's
to.
like an incest thing happened. So now
And that's why I don't like.
she's a
That's why I don't like
victim,
this
so
law
now
being
she has
passed.
to have a baby as a result of something traumatic that happened to her. I can't imagine
So,
That
that as a teacher.
so I
and
always
that's
say it
what I
like
mean
this,
by
guy.
I don't like. I don't like it. I don't
See,
like it
see
because they
what
only
we
make
what
it
we
one sided.
what I always tell people is when you start. Let's take a pause real quick. Laws are set aside and understood to your ability. That's what the Supreme Court is supposed to judge things of interpretation of what the law says, not interpretation of what I'm a Baptist or I'm a Episcopalian or I'm a Muslim, I'm a whatever. At the end of the day, how could you say that? I thought you no, because you got to understand the origins of it. When you're given free will, because you only can be judged by your free will. Whatever you want to be judged by, that's between you and your Lord. I got nothing to do with that. But free will has to be free will to. You can't limit or decide and tell somebody what they can't do. Because remember, only in America you could be able to do these things. Now in other places they can, but here in America you have the freedom to speech, the freedom to expression, freedom of press. You have all these.
You don't have that.
Be able to do that. You don't
You don't have
saying
that.
that. So you that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta give people the freedom to do what they want to do. It's their body. They choose to do what they want to. Moral Bible thumpers, stop thumping the Bible, saying that you shouldn't do this and this is murder. Well, ain't you over here sleeping with sister such and such? Hey, come on now, stop. Say it like this: cast the first stone. Cast the first stone.
True.
It's not even from a religious aspect. It's not even from a religious aspect. It's just like generally speaking, like I just don't feel like somebody should be telling me what to do with my body. Like I've had 3 children. I
And
know
also,
after I had my third child, I didn't want to have any
and,
more. But I couldn't get my tube tied unless I had permission from somebody else. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
That's true.
and,
Because that
and
was the same thing happened after my third child.
yeah, because me, I mean, and this is where I came in the essence of call to being accountable for what your actions are. Like you as a dude, you don't think about that. You'd be like, oh man, I don't know if I want to have. And what? And my sense is like this. I go like this, and it changed my whole mindset and mentality of thinking about it like this. Okay, like say for instance, like in my situation, like Jonna was just saying. What if Yana said, "Well, I'm good after 3. I'm good." Well, that's her choice because number one, she's the one carrying it. I have to think about it whole deeper. She's carrying it. If she don't want to have no more, then that's her choice is not to have anymore. So I had to think about it and put myself in that perspective. What if she said, "I want 13 kids," and I'm like, "I don't want the next 2." So if I can't go out here and get a vasectomy, and then she got to sign for a piece of paper saying that you can't get a vasectomy because she said so. Well, now you don't tell me what to do with my body. Aha, I got you. See, you don't want nobody tell you what to do with your body. So the role should be that should be a conversation between you and another person. And I say a realistic conversation, not this.
Yes,
Well, I want to have 13 kids.
In certain states, women can't get their tubes tied unless their husband agrees with them.
Unless her
And
husband agrees.
I feel like that's not. I feel like that's like that shouldn't be a thing.
No, singles.
And
No,
then
that's
even when you're single, they have limits.
you'll
They
be
have
too young. Age limits. Yeah.
age. You have to have a
Gender
certain
to the
amount of
kids.
kids.
See, once again, that's and when people put limitations on people's personal property, that is wrong altogether. If you want to be 24 and you want to get your tubes tied and you don't want to have no kids, so be it. If you want to be 34 and you said, "Hey, my factory is done. I'm done with the stretch marks and all the rest of this stuff," you should be able to shut it down anytime you want to. Who is to say and tell you what to do? The reason why I said this is on a political aspect, and I say this is because the population or the kids of the rate of people having kids are getting less and less. And we talking about the generational Z's, the Y's. All it is population control because we don't have any more slaves.
Yes.
We don't have any more work slaves. We got to populate the more work slaves so as to be rich.
It's no reason as a single woman if I go up in there like in Georgia, you have to be 30 years old or have I think 3 kids or something like that. If you're a single woman to get your tubes tied.
Or 1 male, 1 female.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
I gotta meet a certain criteria to do
We need
something
that
with
many.
my body.
That's the slaves we need. We need those slaves.
And like,
So
yeah, and it's really like population control. And I personally want to speak on this because I am very pro-choice. I'm very pro-choice, and I've had an abortion. I have had a miscarriage where I had to have an abortion, and I've had children. So I have basically been through every aspect and scenario of this act that was passed, and I feel like personally, when you are making a decision for yourself to abort a child, I feel like that's a personal decision that only a woman can make, because at the end of the day, you can consider the father in the act of it, and I feel like you should definitely get his opinion and see if he wants the child. I feel like personally, that's something that you should do. But at the end of the day, when you make that decision as a woman, whether he's in or not, whether he wants to be a part of the child's life or not, that is the decision that you're making for your body and for your life. And I don't feel like anybody should be able to tell you that you made a mistake, so now you have to deal with the consequences of that mistake, because it's a lot of times that a lot of people make mistakes and then they get a slap on the wrist. But you're basically telling a woman that if I go out here and get raped, something that's not my fault, I got to deal with this consequence. If I'm a young woman and I get pregnant, I have to deal with this consequence. Sometimes like the lesson that you're trying to teach people, some people don't need to go through that lesson. You
well,
know what I'm
first of all,
saying? Like,
it's not even. It shouldn't be. This shouldn't be no lesson
and
because
you're creating trauma. Like,
yeah,
you're
and that's what I'm
creating
saying.
trauma,
That's why I want
and
to
that's
pick it
not
back
a
off of
healthy
like
situation.
no, because the deal about it is like this. We got certain situations that whatever situation is for you, you have the choice to do that. Now you're causing the mortality rate to go up because if I have an ectopic pregnancy, if
Exactly.
I was a woman, you're gonna say to me I'm gonna be septic and die, and just to say sorry, man, you just going to die.
Exactly.
And you
Like,
know what
I
I
just
mean? So
feel like
like
you're creating so much trauma with this act, bro. Like, it's
yeah.
gonna be so much chaos because you're gonna have women that are getting raped that have to have those kids. You're gonna have kids that are experiencing incest. They're gonna have to have these babies with mental illnesses, with defects. You're gonna have women that are in abusive domestic relationships, because you're gonna have women who are in domestic relationships, bro, who I'm almost out of this relationship, now I'm pregnant. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy because you could be a woman that's married and get pregnant, and you might want a divorce, but you can't even divorce that man until after you have that baby. You have to go
After
through a
you have
whole
it,
process
ain't that
after
like
you have
something
had.
that's
I'm
crazy?
serious. That's
Yeah,
how
I
crazy
know.
this thing is.
It's
Like,
crazy.
you can't even get a divorce. Like, I could be in a
Cannot.
situation where I'm trying to get rid of I'm in a volatile relationship, and I'm trying to get rid of a relationship, and whoop, if I get pregnant, it's like I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck in this relationship because now I have to go through all these changes just because I'm pregnant or I decide to keep my baby. And then it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you keep your baby, now you got to extend this tumultuous relationship with this man until you can do anything about it. And if you don't keep the baby, like, y'all just taking the whole option out. I just feel
Yeah.
like nobody is really considering women, their rights, or their mental health with this act. Like, nobody. Really nobody.
I want to
Like,
hear from Kevin because he's been quiet.
Oh, really? I have no input on this issue. I am not a woman, so I mean, doesn't pertain to me per se. But
No,
see what
but
I'm
I'm saying,
saying? See what I'm saying?
but I'm saying in a sense, reason why I'm saying something, Kevin, is like, all right, I got daughters, because now you're saying that this is 50 years, y'all just celebrate Title IX about giving women's rights to being able to like speak up and have the rights to be able to do what they need to do. Now y'all went backwards again and saying that, oh yeah, by the way, you don't have no rights because we need more slaves to fund us the rich. To we need more work slaves, and you're not producing any. So to be able to do that, we got to overturn this to make you have. We don't care if they're retarded work slaves. We don't care if they mentally ill work slaves. We just need people to come in there. We need the numbers to make this thing work because we don't got enough slaves. And we don't want to go out and work these plant fields of as in the Amazons of the world. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, what's that?
I said, first thing I want to say is that you said okay or something in there, so my phone started recording that whole rant. Now I got to learn about work slaves and all this stuff on my phone because it searched it.
Yeah.
Secondly, I said this Roe versus Wade is just a first step for this new Supreme Court, the Supreme Court, because now they're talking about trying to pass a new law to where the states can change their votes for the citizens.
Yeah,
it's not looking good, and it scares me. Like I try to like stay up to date with the political stuff, and it really fucking scares me. Like I don't know where we're going or what's gonna happen.
The government's gonna control everything. Like y'all might as well put computer chips in this.
Yeah, somebody said it was like, dear good Americans, what you thought that good Germans should have did back in the 1930s, you should do. And I was like, well, I mean, we gotta see what's gonna happen first. I don't know. I really don't know where it's going. It's a really crazy time, and
it really is.
That's why I said I really don't have any say on any of this stuff right now. I said
I just feel like personally, like I've just had my personal experience like on all ends of the spectrum, and I just feel like personally it kind of puts a woman in a good mental space when she's dealing with the reality of bringing a life into the world, of knowing that she has options, because it's a very scary thing to bring a life in the world. And man, I mean, y'all get it, but y'all don't. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, like actually being the one that's bringing the life into the world and having to nurture the life and you know, it's very scary. I don't think men realize how scary that is, to like come to that reality of when you get pregnant. That's the reality. Every time you get pregnant, you come to that reality of I'm dealing with life or death. I'm having to bring a life into the world.
I always say it's up to the woman, and the man is supposed to be there just to help you and support. Like, I mean, be there for you emotionally.
And I feel like women should make that decision for themselves. I feel like they should make that decision for themselves. After you look at your situation and you weigh your options, don't make that decision for nobody else but yourself. Because when you make that decision for somebody else, that's what makes it so tumultuous, because you're basically making a life-changing decision for somebody else.
Yeah,
Or to achieve something.
It's your body. I'm just here for you. Whatever.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. I feel like it's your decision. Like and that shouldn't be taken from a woman.
Period. Like not having any options. That's a part that gets on my nerves. Like when Tanya was talking about pregnancy. Pregnancy is a scary thing. Like I understand that not everybody can get pregnant. People have difficulty getting pregnant. But like people will be on the outside looking into a pregnancy like, oh, it's a beautiful thing, you know, it's a life. It really is.
It is, but it's scary too. It's very scary.
I have to stay this whole human being for a whole 9 months. And not even that, but I have to make it for this baby to get here. And then even with having the baby, one of us could die. Or like and that was a determination. I didn't want to. Because that was a horrible labor in delivery. The patient went down. My uterus is all the way. Any pregnancy I would have after I had my last child would be a complication. And I'm a kid. I don't, because I can have another kid and it'll be worse than this time. I might lose a baby. I might lose a mom. Like I should have been able to stay to Kansas because I was married at the time. So like that, me going through all that, I was making an adult decision that I don't want to do this again because of this happening. They felt like that wasn't good enough. That I still had to have a third party that didn't even have the baby or body didn't even go through any of that to be able to make that decision with me for me. That's the part that kills me and gets on my nerves. It made me angry about it at the time. I'm still angry about it. But But that's the whole gist of it. Like, why are you deciding what somebody does with their body? Why is it necessary I have to go through hoops to make a decision about my body? I have to have a chaperone for my body. Like, that does not make any sense. Like, it doesn't. Nobody talks about vasectomies. Nobody talks about condoms. Nothing's put forth like desperately for education about males and reproduction as hard as it is for a woman. Like, I have a brother, pretty sure his conversation about sex was completely different about my conversation about sex, because it's just instilled in society responsible because I'm carrying the baby. And that's crazy. I know I'm responsible because I'm carrying a baby, but we're going to limit or have limitations on how you carry this baby or get it here. That's wild. I will never understand that.
And that's my point. People make women primarily responsible for children. Facts. Society makes us primarily responsible for children. It don't matter if you married. It don't matter if you single. It does not matter. I have been single. I have been married. You are the primary caretaker of doggone kids. You are. From the time you conceive them to the time they come into the world to the time they leave your house. Like, you are. And you can't even, and now you're basically taking my choice or my option of not wanting to do that. That's why I feel like it's going to be very tumultuous for women's mental health. It really, really is. You're finna see a lot of women go through a lot of mental health trauma. You're really about to see it, because you're basically taking away any freedom that they have with their body. I'm talking about y'all even talking about Plan B's.
Yes,
like
Plan
one,
B.
we taking away abortion. Now we taking away. You basically are making women have children at this point.
The day that Roe versus Wade was overturned, all the CVS's in the area that I live in sold out of Plan B. I went to work today. We're still sold out of Plan
because
B.
they're scared. Women are literally terrified that now that they have made a judgment on our bodies where we can't abort children. I mean, can't abort like fetuses, because we're not even gonna say that these are babies at this point. Not most of the time when women find out they're pregnant and it's a fetus. Like, it hasn't developed into no baby yet. Okay. Now, I can see that you're putting limitations on a woman not being able to abort a fetus after a certain time.
Yeah,
I can definitely agree with that. But when you first find out you're pregnant, most women don't know that they're pregnant. Most women get pregnant on birth control. You can take contraceptives and get pregnant. And now you're dealing with a possibility of, I done took all the proper procedures not for to happen because I don't want kids. I'm not ready for kids. And now I don't have the option of terminating my pregnancy because y'all have took that off the table. And then we're scared and people want to buy up Plan Bs. I'm finna go get some, because it's like, what's next? Y'all gonna take that option from us too?
They're talking about,
and then the next thing is gonna be like, we can't get birth control no more. Like,
so
how far is this?
I don't know if any of y'all know that, but like Louisiana, back in May, they propositioned that in their state house to take away birth control contraceptives. So IUDs, any type of contraceptives that help with getting pregnant, tubal ligation.
Hey, I want you to. Could you please repeat that state?
Louisiana.
Say it one more time.
Louisiana.
See, that right there should have that you got really backwards really thinking. That's why I would never live in the state of Louisiana, Georgia, or any other dumb backwards thinking place.
Well, we might as well just go back to the olden days where you don't have sex until you marry, y'all. Like, that's gonna be completely. I'm serious.
Hey,
they gonna force you to do that.
Guys, and don't pull out. Pull out doesn't work. Just let y'all know that.
I said again, back to the days where you wasn't having sex when you were married. They was like 12 and 13 being sold off as property.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're literally going back. Like, it's gonna be us selling our daughters at 15 years old to the man who brings me the biggest cow. Like, it's gonna be shit like that. Like, we're literally reverting back, bro.
Dowries, like dowries of, you want my daughter? I need 30 goats.
30
exactly. Like, I can't, bro. I can't. Like,
yeah, but I always tell people, we have to say what progression is and what it looks like. And this is not progression at no point, of no shape or form. So this is
at all.
Conclusion of, like, I always tell people, they don't want to hear it, is, don't get mad because you voted for these people, voted for these people because of name. This person has been in there for 30 years. And this is the number one rule where, if this is why I can't be president, I'll be president on Monday and be dead by Thursday. I would put a limit. Put a limit on how many terms you can run in Congress. And this goes on you get 2 terms. After that, you got to go. Because you've been in there so long and you sat there and did nothing and fixed it, and then trying to make decisions for yourself and your constituents, as in the paying constituents, not you. So once again, if you voted for these people and you're mad because Roe versus Wade got overturned, get mad at yourself, because these are decisions that you make, and then now they don't trust you to make your own decision. So now they make it like they can overturn what you voted for. So what's the purpose of democracy? Is this democracy, or is this just like in Rome, where they just make your decision for you because they think that they have the best interest for what you want, but that they really don't. It's for their self pockets. I mean, interest. I mean, for their own wallets. I mean, for their own. You know what I'm talking about. They're going for the dollar. They're selling you out for the highest bid. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is. And you get mad, you should go out there and get mad. And see, I'm speaking freely right now, and I'll pick this up. Some sound scan gonna pick this up and see. Kavanaugh, you see, almost somebody got you, and the Senate don't really care about it because they took the protection of Secret Service off of Supreme Court justices. So you out here naked, going home. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying somebody would or won't. Somebody already tried it for you, Kavanaugh. Was at your house, in your house, bro. It's like I always says, there's always somebody who kill people for fun, and they do it, and they're great professionals at it. You obviously didn't get the right people, personnel. You didn't get the niggas from West Memphis or South Side Atlanta to come do that job, because it would have been done. It's just the fact that just you're feeling free and comfortable about making these decisions, but now the same people who's supposed to be protecting you as a Congress took the right away from you to even get protected, for you to go in your car, to go home and get protected when somebody trying to knock your head off. Now, all I say is this. I'm just saying, you're making these procedures and whatever. And the one thing I too much don't care about Supreme. Yeah, you are. And it's the Supreme Court Justice, Uncle Thomas, as I call him. I don't pretty much care for him, but he did make one good couple statements. Is if you reverse this, you might as well reverse same-sex marriage, everything else, because you're going backwards.
All possible.
Yeah, it's all possible now. Now that's nothing off the table. Anything goes. Same interracial marriage, same-sex marriage, anything.
I don't even like it, but he said that, and I was like, yeah, he's right.
Because he in one. In a racial marriage at that. Just want to say that. And you're in one. So to even know that and see that your old colleagues is willing to go backwards.
I think this goes against everything that America is supposed to stand for.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly.
Yep.
That's
we're
why
supposed to stand for freedom and justice. I feel like it goes against everything that we're supposed to stand for. Literally, it does. And it's crazy that they're attacking the women, like the people who manifest and
y'all
nurture and create life.
Y'all gotta be the first ones to go. Is what they say.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess so.
Yeah,
it's just really sad. It's just really, really, really sad. Like, it makes you not have any faith in America at all. Like, honestly,
like it makes
me I don't feel safe. Like I feel like the next 20 years they'll be voting us back into slavery. Honestly,
that's how I feel.
Oh no, I already said this a couple of days ago. I said that they're gonna have to. A lot of us ain't gonna go for that, so you're gonna have to take out like a lot. But all you out of 23 million people, you keep 2, we can repopulate. So.
Well, Kevin, I'm just gonna say this. What I'm saying in this scenario is like already said. I didn't seen all these the Underground Railroads and all the rest of it. And I told a long time ago I'd be the first one dead, I guess, because I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you that what's gonna end up happening is it's I don't understand it how where I've seen anti LGBTQ personnel that was happy about this, but then I'm looking at you like you're not.
You want to be able to live your life free will.
So which one is it? It's like
free will to have.
Yeah, I was like this. Well, time out now. I was like, okay, well, what's up? I said, what's up for what's on the menu next? Take theirs right too. Then let me see how you gonna feel and react when it comes down to you. Now they reverse all that stuff on you. You gonna be like, oh, will somebody feel sorry for me? No, because once you just the one over there, anti-abortion, LGBTQ, that's backwards. I'm like, what is that? Like, it has to be a small community of y'all because it can't be the greatest of it because we're talking about rights of people. We're talking about personnel and people's rights. Rights are rights, regardless of you agree to it or not. You still fall in the same category of having your choice of what you want to do and how you want to conduct yourself. So it just we have to boil down to that, and we can't sit here and be on because we gotta understand here. America was not founded on any religion. It was off the principles of freedoms, of being able to go over here and pray how you want to pray, do how you want to do, and with the laws to be fair and across the board. When we go over here, thought that when people try to make it into Bible thumpers and Bible bets and telling all this other stuff, I always tell people, without free will, where are we at? It has to be free will. If a free will in the book that you read, and it's already told you that it was going to happen. Stop. I always tell people, stop the inevitable. It was already going to be written. It's going to happen. Yeah. Is now we're going backwards into time. We're going back into the 1900s instead of staying to the 2000s. I'm not saying that I'm conducting or condoning any of whatever happens. I feel like that you have a choice of the free will. We have to put it in the perspective of free will. And if these people want to do that, allow them to do it. And why are you for me to judge anybody? That's what we're doing, is you're judging people. You're saying that it's not right for you to have an abortion because God says it's wrong. Well, last time I checked, this wasn't founded on religion. So I only have to go to what's prescribed to. I can't say over here in the Middle East because their whole law and religion is all in one. So we can't go against that. That's established. And then you're picking, from square one.
And you're picking and choosing which part.
What's saying is the best? What's the
want to uphold? Like,
stop it.
We're okay with same-sex marriage, but we're not okay with abortion.
Yeah, that's why I said
God said that you're not supposed to marry another woman either. So it's like, what are we doing at this point? What are we doing?
They don't know. That's why I said they did literally putting these people to sit and push things backwards because some people want that old thing back. They want that how it was. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole backwards thinking of everything that you're reverting back in your people that live, died, and for causes that for people to have the freedoms to have that. And then now you're just spitting in all those people's faces who then died for certain freedoms and liberties to have. You know what I mean? Yeah. People then died having kids, and when abortion was outlawed, the people then died to try to have the same entitlement for you to be able to drink from the same water fountain from somebody else. Now, like I always tell people, equality is equality. If you're talking about equality for one, you're talking about it for all, because you can't pick and choose what I want you to have and don't want you to have. Now, where we're going to, where this goes deeper than just that, because you didn't say all these people that fought for whatever rights it is, then you're just saying that they died in vain, they did the work in vain, and all this. You're to. So like at the same time, I feel like we're being really primitive. We're going backwards. We're hustling backwards. We're not moving forward. We're not showing a good example of other from other places that we're supposed to be the example of what freedom is supposed to be, and we're going backwards and saying that when y'all can't be able to, get your tubes tied, you can't go and be able to do what you want to your body. And really, why it affects me, Kevin, is because I have daughters. Now I have to go back and say, yeah, they have fought for your rights and did all this, but now you're going back. Now you're living in the times before this. You're living
now
in
I need
the
to know
40s.
How many goats that man owned before he could take you on a date.
It's sad. We're going backwards, and like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this because in the sense of like, when I'm dead and gone, I'm gonna have to be worried. But I'm worried because y'all can't be able to do what you want to do with yourselves and with your body and have the freedom of that. So that's why I always said, like, some people.
That Brandon does get it now. He gets it now about women and their bodies. It took him a little while, but he gets it now.
Very proud of you, Brandon. Very proud of you.
But you have to put yourself in this. See, it's not just only about the other person that you with. You have I have female friends. I have female associates. I have daughters. You have to understand, like, if you don't like, and I don't know what book that you read from, and that's why I tell people you got to separate religion from culture, because this and culture does this. There's two different angles, and you can't be, and they can't be intertwined and joined. What God said and what you think ain't the same thing. We ain't on the same level. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have to separate them, because the deal about it is you're talking about, are you going like, because the Bible didn't say that women are lesser than men. It didn't say that, but you're treating women that are lesser than men. So you're going on your own cultures and your own self belief, not in belief in who you prescribe to and who you pray to, because now you're contradicting. That is all it is. It's like how many times did they people use God's word and twist it into their own beliefs? You know what I'm saying? Just saying, stop being hypocrites, because they ain't what God said. You shouldn't. They said this abortion. I said He says you shouldn't steal and covenant your partner, your neighbor. Shouldn't sleep with commit adultery. You shouldn't. It's a lot of stuff I can say what you're supposed to do, but you're doing it right. So we should take you around back and stone you for doing that, should we not? We're gonna go back in the day. We take you back. You just slept with Sheila and Susan. Take them back and stone both of them. You want to go back to that? Because y'all ain't about that. Because see, you know why? Because the laws of this land was not established off of any religion. Because there's countries that they go back there and
off a white man. Like the laws of this land was, let's be honest. I'm sorry. No, let's be honest. A bunch of white men that got together and wrote everything, the Constitution, the amendments, all that stuff.
Well, that's why I said the Constitution was never the Constitution was only made for the people at the time that it affected, which was the rich white men that it affected on, and that's just what it's always been on.
For no abortions, rich white man.
You got the wrong people asking. They're voting for things that don't affect them. They only doing it for what's going to affect their pockets. They're looking at the population right now. In the past 30 years, birth rate, people getting pregnant and having kids has gone down. And it's affecting their pockets. And now COVID didn't hit. Oh, man, we got to do something drastic. Oh, we got to do something drastic. We got to get some new slaves. Because I don't want to go out here and work. I'm not sweating. All time I sweat is. What's that?
So it's like we're being punished for being more responsible. Like people are realizing like they can't afford to have kids, so we just ain't gonna have no kids.
Well, first of all, we got to see what you got to see why it's not affordable. That's eating off of everybody else's backs, which y'all need. Rich off everybody else's backs and making it fair towards everybody else. Maybe if I had a living wage, I might think about having for where I stay at. Daycare, the doctor or the 3Ds that be murdering people's pockets, especially daycare. I know. Mm-hmm. And the deal about it is being able. It's like you working for your kids to stay at daycare.
Yeah, pretty much.
A living wage. This one guy had made a comment saying that don't want to work. I said, no, dude. You need to have an understanding. When they show people what a living wage looks like when they were ever handing out these unemployment checks, why the hell am I working over here at Lowe's? I'm only making $16 an hour and they paying me $23 an hour. Should I go back and work at Lowe's? Or maybe there's Lowe's.
No.
The $23, at least the $22 an hour to make me consider to go out here and work to make a living wage, so I won't have to be over here.
About the inflation to me, like you see so much stuff going up.
But you know why inflation happens though? But inflation only happens. Well, inflation only just to keep the rich keep being rich, because if even a thing, they would be affected by it. Their pockets affected by it. The inflation is only to keep them at the status quo where they want to be at. Is keep getting money. Well, if this was $16 and now it's $24, I'm still getting the same rate as I was $16, but I'm not gonna get affected by my pockets. I'm gonna let you hurt behind it because I'm still gonna regard. It's because we don't got aka the Amazons of the world. So we gotta fulfill to put these people in here. Now our excuses of the world, you're going like this. Well, they're lazy. They don't want to work. Well, Mitch, let's do this. And you should not have any control of what you make and give yourself a raise. What kind of? That's crazy. How can I sit here and all of us vote that I'm gonna get, and nobody can oppose it and nobody to check us? Tanya, and you or anybody else making a minimum wage? Minimum wage got to be $7. Are you making $7, sir? I feel like your wage shouldn't be. You shouldn't make no more than $120,000 a year. That's your cap for everybody who's in Congress. And then on top of it, you should. And then what you gonna say about that? Oh, you gonna feel like you get deuced, right? No, that's the problem. When you allow people to vote for the work and saying, you know what, go in your boss's office. I deserve $25 an hour. Nah, bro. You get what you get paid. I don't. Checking. There's no checks and balance in that system. It's a system. Until you take money out of politics, and until you have a situation where it's always going to be corrupt because money corrupts everything. When you put money in politics, I can say I run a campaign. I'm for women pro-choice. But if I told you, hey, if I can get in your district, $25,000 to put in your pocket, you want to change your vote, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, there's nothing I can do.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Exactly. The money is the catalyst. When you take the money out of it, there's no incentive for you to do it. There's no incentive. You have the incentive because I'm fulfilling your constituents at the same time. So it's like you from both hands, and that's why it's not always going to be unfair. Moral situation of people in these which they should on the outside. They only should be looking at the levels of what's been set there. What the law's been written. Not saying that. Well, they're biased.
Because it's never been voted on. Period. If you're looking at this from a legal standpoint, unbiased, just looking at the facts of the legalities of this is nothing that should have been voted on. Period. This should not have been voted on. We're talking about women's bodies. We're talking about women's bodies. We're not finna take a woman's body and put it on trial.
No.
But y'all did. Basically, it's like it's not fair. Like it's not fair. Like it's the whole structure of this is just BS. And then you wonder why people don't want to stand up for the flag. You wonder why people don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance. You wonder why people taking knees. You wonder why people don't want to celebrate the 4th of July. Like
I'm not voting. I'm definitely not. When they went on and made Juneteenth the thing, I was like, that's my 4th of July. That's when we got free. I'm not trying to be. And somebody was like, how could you say that? You're a patriot. No. If I still see, and you're just now making laws that saying lynching is illegal, just now. In 2022. Just now. So some redneck or whatever personnel can take me out back and lynch me and get away with it, right? First of all, that would never happen because all y'all have been dead anyway. I just can't allow that to happen. I don't care what kind of jail, whatever you gonna put me in, that ain't gonna happen. But it's sad that you have that situation and I'm not protected as a human being, man, in America, and I'm still as lesser than in the sense of there's no protection of. And I'm not trying to be mad about, okay, you gave Asian people their rights. Okay, but at the same time, rights at? Why come everybody can't be covered? I'm just saying, like, I wasn't even a person at all. I got to be disrespected for my kids to see me get my nuts cut off and hung up in a tree or barbecued. Am I not a man? You know what I'm saying? That's why I come in deep where you know that's no hate on no other person. But am I not a man? Like James Baldwin, am I not a man? I get up and work and make sure that my kids have what they want to. Don't you do the same thing for you? Am I not a man? Do I not be able to go and have the luxury and liberties to do what I want to and be able to live accordingly? Am I not a man? Because that's what you're showing me and telling me that. Because once again, when you have people who are not who you look like and they're not your constituents, they don't have the best interest for you.
And we don't have anybody in the Senate that looks like, you don't have women up there. You really, that's a male dominated. It's male dominated. Like, it's not a lot of women up in there, and it's not a lot of women that look like us. So it's just I don't know. It's just really messed up because you have these people that's voting on all this stuff and there's really nothing you can really do about it. Like, they're making it so you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Like, the whole structure of this is the government is going to change. Like, you finna see it. You finna see it. It's not gonna be voting on nothing no more. It's just gonna be whatever we say goes. Like, I feel like it's really finna change.
Any closing words from little Kevin?
Little Kevin, you know my dad.
You didn't give us your because you wasn't here for the introduction, so you didn't give us your name today.
You didn't.
Yeah, I got the.
You trying to find a rich white woman?
Nah, man. I was just gonna say I do have several rich white women, but I just said the Black Carlos Mencia.
Man, you should have said Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart is on a whole nother episode. Like you gotta say, like I always tell people, it's not like when everybody's saying every white is evil. What I'm saying is the people that are put in a position of power to abuse that situation of power. And this is the reason why I would never be able to run any type of office at all, because they'll literally have me in there and I'll do this and I'll be dead tomorrow. And I'm cool with that because I know that. But at least I got in there and I made
people that tried to do the right thing end up dead. So
that's all. But that's all. Evil will always prevail unless when there's no God there. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and whatever you believe in, there's no transcribe to that. But like I always tell people, I feel like as a man in America, or as a black man in America, let's say it that way, I feel like that I have to defend what is right for me and my kids and anything around me that affects me, and I shouldn't be harassed, bothered, or meddled with, as you shouldn't been meddled with yourself. So, like, my describe to everything is I treat people as people until you show me otherwise. So, I don't know really what to say about this corrupt system until you put some kind of regulations on it. and that has to be done. Has to be done at that level or at a higher level, where Supreme Court justices that you have some kind of track record of having some kind of anti-abortion, and you did like all types of other stuff, then you shouldn't be put in a position to be unbiased because you have a bias. Kavanaugh, you have a bias. First of all, you did some corrupt stuff and you ain't supposed to be in there, and they let you in there anyway. Amy Coney Barrett, you done did a whole article and all this other stuff that we found on you, and they still let her in. But you wonder why this all happened. It was already set up to be that way. And we all just have to sit back and watch. Now, all that work years that it took to get Roe versus Wade to be where it's at and for it to pass, all that work just got pissed on.
Yeah, basically.
Literally, you got to at least wait for one justice to die and replace them with somebody who's not biased. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the good die young. Grammy needs to live a long time. That's 50 Cent right there. The power of a dollar. That's live a long time.
It's crazy.
Well, guys, yeah. So, no, we talked over our time, but that was a good topic to talk about and bring up. I always think
you're trying to say that
we're trying to be a progressive country, and we're trying to be able to show people things. We are not doing that right now. We are showing backwards. We're showing ignorance. We're showing foolishness. We're showing all that all together. And it's always has to be these country dumb states. I'm sorry to tell you that. And it's always them are the ones. It's like you sit there and say, what's the most dumbest backwards thing that we can go back to where we always were winning? It's always that way. It's always Louisiana. It's always the Georgias. Always the Mississippis. Always the Louisianas. It's always them. Dumb ones. They always like y'all. I want to see a track record from Civil War Reconstruction to now. Y'all still. You're still poor. No, you're still poor.
It's true.
You're still poor. Because you can't say the top part of Georgia is got money and the bottom part of Georgia don't have any money. You're still poor. If you take the average, you're still poor. Alabama, you're still poor. Mississippi, you're just not getting out of the red, but you're still poor. Louisiana, people are moving away from there, and you're still poor. Arkansas, y'all are still poor. Now, duly noted, I'm from Alabama, and I know that backwards.
They are.
You're still poor. You know why you're poor? It's because you choose to be that way because you are closed-minded. You don't want to have any kind of mindset to expand yourself. We're just talking about trying to legalize weed. And y'all think about, oh, no, we'll talk about the devil's lettuce. We'll talk about all that. But look. How many of us know that somebody talked about smoking weed and they was against it, but now you still smoking?
We definitely need to talk about that next week.
I'm talking about that next week. I'm just saying, like you're saying backwards, but we're talking about cigarettes and alcohol that get lung cancer.
We definitely need to talk about that next week.
That's backwards. Backwards thinking. Your backwards thinking is killing you. You know that, right? You smoking in front of your damn. You're smoking in front of your damn baby is killing your baby. You ain't getting no chance. You're backwards.
Okay.
You know Uncle Ricky need to stop drinking because he gonna have the cirrhosis of the liver. But you get smoking weed, well, you're backwards.
He done ran off with it. Who brought this up?
We did talk about this next week. For real.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks, you guys? I gotta go cook for my chillins.
I'm gonna order food. I don't have really any closing remarks. If you don't get anything from my segment today, it's communication. Communication is like the gateway drug to a good relationship.
And you want to give in to that drug.
Oh yeah,
for real. It's really good. You're gonna get a really good benefits off of it. I feel like as far as my topic goes, I just say everybody let's pray. Like literally, we're just gonna have to pray for America. That's basically where we are.
Prayer me.
For real. Brandon.
Guys.
Oh, I don't have
All right.
anything.
All right. So, guys, it's a good episode. It's Play Your Part podcast. I appreciate y'all coming.